Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Thursday, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports with Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass today. Taking you up to 2 p.m. as always. And we have Kings talk. We have Niners talk. We have Steph Curry nighting talk. We have Kevin Durant talk. We also have Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports, who will be joining us at 1 p.m. And maybe we'll have a nice little back and forth with Brandon as it pertains to the Seahawks as the Niners continue their bird watch, trying to take down all the birds that they can. Geno Smith, really good game statistically against the Cowboys, even though the Seahawks weren't able to get it done. We'll see. Could there be a letdown game coming for the Niners? Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Great. Did you see the video? I just saw it yesterday come across my timeline of a fan draping over, like, you know how the players run through the tunnel to get back into the locker room after the game. And, you know, traditionally fans and stuff can, you know, get their pictures off or whatever, get things signed. A fan had like a giant, like, roll down list of all the bird teams that the Niners are playing.
And
had IU personally dropped him a marker and just he X'd that thing out
about
like it was
times.
A preschooler who wasn't drawn between the line. Like he X'd that thing out like crazy.
Yes.
Shout out that fan, whoever made that. But I saw that video and I was like, that's incredible. And I think it had all the bird logos on it.
Right.
That I saw that come across my timeline the other day and I was like, that is fantastic.
A well done sign is
really
always
good.
appreciated.
Yeah,
it's
really
always
good.
appreciated.
They're trying to take sign culture away. Don't.
Why?
Because I'll tell you why. Because people who aren't like real, you know, didn't grow up going to games, don't understand what it's like to be a kid and, you know, how exciting it is to bring a sign into the game. They're like, you're blocking my vision. Please. I paid $300 for these seats and I haven't seen a second of this game because your child is holding up a sign. So now you're only allowed like a single piece of paper. And so now you see people like, you know, get creative and bring 4 of those pieces of paper and we'll tape it together. But yeah, I mean, they're trying to destroy sign culture in sports in general. And it's just like, it's a stadium policy. Like
there's also people whose signs have ruined it for everyone else.
For sure. Of course.
Sure. I mean, look, back in my day when I was in my music festival era, there was those big signs that would, hey, I can't see anything.
The person behind me can't see.
Right. And they're using it so that your friends,
sign.
You know, hey, where are you? Follow the big bird, right? But then meanwhile, I can't see past the big bird. So I guess I get the etiquette portion real quick because we're talking etiquette here. Yeah. I did see Homeboy in the gym last night.
Really?
Squatter,
oh my
Mr.
God.
Squatter. But I beat him. So I had already done my thing. And then he came in and I saw somebody else and I almost wanted to say, hey, if anybody wants to squat, you better do it now because he's going to be on there for about 40 minutes. So I beat him. Was
there any sort of looks or anything?
No, he came in with his significant other again, and I was already done. And really,
did he give you a walk by?
No, but he went right to the squat rack, and somebody else was on it, and he was just getting ready to sneak in there.
So this is a pattern.
That's what this is. Hey, appreciate somebody doing leg day
for sure,
but
don't skip it.
The tough part for me is that I'm supposed to, when I'm doing my Achilles work, I like to warm up to it. I don't want to come in and first off start ripping squats, but I have to kind of cut down. Don't tell my physical therapist. I got to cut down the amount of workouts that I do prior to because there's only one squat rack. And a couple of days ago, this person didn't stay long. I might have plans because there's nobody in there. It was Saturday. There's only 3 of us. This guy happened to hop on right where in my mind, okay, squatting is next. So a lot of times I got to just get it done when I get it done. Because there's only one. Yeah. There's only one. So Mr. Squatter, he got to enjoy his time with no looks from me last night. And as we get back to the sign culture, obviously that's why we all love College Game Day. Those signs are hilarious. Different situation. They want their signs to be seen. But I get it. it's the same as what's the rule on if somebody had their kid on their shoulders during the game. You probably can't do that.
Sure. During a concert, something,
Now, it is different when you're talking about, and this is where you would get different answers. If the person ahead of you, in front of you, is standing, right, you can't tell them to sit. I think I've seen that. Didn't we see that on social media not too long ago? I think during this football season where I think it was somebody was standing and got into it because the person was like, sit down. Yeah. Hey, if I paid for this seat, if I don't want to sit, there is no rule, right? If you feel like standing, you can stand. And unfortunately, if that person in front of you wants to stand, you probably got to stand too. That's why they're on an incline. So even if there's a vert in front of you, you can still see. But if somebody stands, unfortunately, you got to stand too. I think
there's some happy ground of common sense etiquette, though. It's like, hey, man, like it's the second quarter. Maybe you don't need to stand
man.
Now.
You paid your hard-earned money. You want to stand.
But also so did everybody else. And that's where it's like, you're not just a man in an arena. You are still a member of society. And
I don't know what the rule is.
It's just common courtesy.
Yeah, I think that's
be polite.
Point. Yeah. Exactly.
But what if hey, I'm hyped. I want to stand.
No, I mean, if you're cheering and stuff, like, it's okay. But again, it's like you can't stand the entire. Like, you have to understand that other people also.
It's
a tough line, and it's. I mean, it's a thing where common sense isn't always the same amongst everybody, and some people may think, hey, me standing for 5 minutes in a row is fine, or me standing for 15 minutes is fine. And, other people, I don't know. It's tough to judge. It's tough to, there's no rule book. It's kind of like golf etiquette. It's just kind of one of those things where you're just kind of supposed to know, but nobody's ever going to tell you. It's not listed anywhere.
And I think it also does it matter home or away? This is a confusing
right, because
one.
It's like if you're a road fan, it could add to the this guy's being obnoxious. He's like,
and maybe they are.
And maybe they are. And are they in their rights as long as it's fair and safe and
get your money up? I'm in front of you. I probably paid more for my ticket.
Exactly, because that could also be your argument. Is hey, I paid whatever you paid $800 for these front row seats. This is an experience of a lifetime. I'm just trying to enjoy it the most I can. And who am I to tell you that you can't do that? So I don't know. It's really tough. I think,
it is. Yeah. It reminds me, it's a little bit different, but it does remind me of my days on the train, obviously BART, right? Going back and forth from work back in the day. And, a lot of times if there was an older woman or an older man and there's a seat,
of course,
you would get up. Now,
you're supposed to.
There's no rule.
Right.
But it's, courtesy, chivalry, whatever you want to call it. I would say, I'm not going to lie on these airwaves. I would say I got up probably 75 to 80% of the time. I wouldn't say every time.
To do it every time.
If I'm on the inside, I'm not going to get up, right? If it's very easy for me to just swap here or there, I'll do it. But then a lot of times I wouldn't have a seat anyway. And if I was coming from Oakland, I'd been sitting for a good bit as well. Anyway, you can go ahead going into the city. Coming out of the city, most of the time I didn't have a seat. So when I would see somebody of that demographic come on the train and then nobody gave up their seat, I'd have to kind of stop myself from judging,
right?
Because technically there's no rule, and I don't know what this person has been through this day. Right. Maybe they got laid off. Maybe they just don't feel like it. Yeah, I don't know what they do for a job.
Really need to sit,
right? Yeah. So I don't know. So I know it's a little bit different, but ultimately it is a bit.
It's pretty. Yeah.
It's you could ask 10 people and get 10 different answers.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I mean it's a. I get it because again, in this society, it does feel like, I don't know, like it's everybody's in their right to do exactly like we said, everyone's in their right to fan how you want to fan. You paid your hard earned money for those seats, but at the same time, it is also, you are you can't ignore the fact that yes, to bring it all back, like signs are awesome, standing is awesome, fan how you want to fan, but at the same time you are also completely disrupting everybody else's view, and it becomes a point where it is just like, I paid money for my seats too, and I would like a good experience as well, and you're just kind of ruining it. And it's not even, I'm not telling you get out of here, I'm just saying, can you take a seat?
Right, we can all rally together.
I don't know which side. I sympathize with both sides.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think that's going to be a problem for the Thursday night game of the Patriots and Steelers. That's got to be. I know the
you
under.
can spread out as much as you want.
No, you can
probably put your feet up.
Right when you get lucky on a plane, and nobody's
exactly.
next to you, or you get a whole row to yourself. That's going to be the game tonight. The over/under set at 29.5, the lowest total in an NFL game since 2005. It's got to be. So based on how this is written, it's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Gross.
I would say that it's got to be top 5 cheapest tickets or on average of the season. Right.
And this isn't even account. We don't even know what's the weather going to be like tonight in Pittsburgh.
Just don't sign me up.
Like there's no way there's not something better you can do with your day.
No, I don't
Maybe
even know.
Today's
if
a good Christmas tree setup night.
Yeah.
You can presently get a ticket to Acrisure Stadium tonight in Pittsburgh for $35.
That's too much. That's way too much.
This is football prices, though. Football prices
too
are
much.
crazy.
That's way too much.
You got Kenny Two Gloves. He's got Mike Tomlin.
There's a
For
lot of
reference,
seats in that stadium.
I went to the Arizona Cardinals San Francisco 49ers game.
Mm-hmm.
By far the cheapest ticket all year for the Niners.
Okay.
Those were cheapest ticket $100.
Yeah, I mean that's at Levi Stadium.
That was at Levi?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I was gonna say maybe in Arizona it could be a little bit different. Yeah. All right, gotta get to a break. When we get back, there's gonna be a theme of today's show. And the theme is things that are probably going to annoy Chris a little bit because that's what's going to happen. We got some things to talk about that I legitimately have questions about. Steph Curry hitting the night.
Oh, my gosh.
Chris put me on, and we got into it a little bit last week about Jonathan Kuminga. Well, look how the tables have turned. We're going to talk about a trade through the 80 East or 80 West, basically after you pass Scandia. All that and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
This segment is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
Well, hello there. It's Santa Claus, and I'm checking my list to see who's been naughty or nice.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Santa. About that list, I've been a little bit naughty this year.
Oh, my. Naughty boys get a lump of coal in their stocking, you know.
Yeah, lump of coal. But guess what, Santa? Elk Grove Kia came to the rescue.
Elk Grove Kia? What do they have to do with your naughty deeds?
Well, Santa, they gave me a great deal on a new Kia, the highest-rated mass-market vehicle in J.D. Power's U.S. dependability study.
What?
No lump of coal for me this year, old man.
A Kia, you say?
Yeah,
Well, what about your challenged credit?
Well, Santa, unlike you, Elk Grove Kia doesn't judge guys like me. They looked beyond my troubled past and still sold me a fine new Kia. Look.
Well, I never...
Sorry, Santa, but Elk Grove Kia has your sled beat this year. So while you're busy with the lumps of coal, I'll be cruising in style in my new Kia.
Okay, I suppose Elk Grove Kia is on the nice list this year.
Naughty or nice, Elk Grove Kia believes everyone deserves a second chance. Elk Grove Kia, spreading joy, one car at a time. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. We have Niners Seahawks this weekend. Will the Niners, there you go again with the Gus Johnson. Will the Niners suffer from everything? And we have Fred Warner saying, hey, we've moved on. We're done with the Eagles for now. We have moved on. And I think that is the correct mentality so they don't have a letdown game. But we will talk with Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports, to see what he thinks and what he thinks about. I'm really interested to see what he thinks about Geno Smith. Because on Thanksgiving, I thought that was actually good for Seahawks fans. I have two buddies, they're brothers, and they're Seahawks fans. And I said, honestly, this is a bit embarrassing, but I think this is good for you guys, right? Because at least now you know that there are levels to this. Shout out Meek Mill. And you've gotten as much as you can get out of Geno Smith. Right. It was a good run.
It was.
I know, what was it? A meal on Monday said that Geno Smith won the comeback award, even though he didn't come back from anything. And that's all fine and good, but he's had a good career.
Yeah.
I think if you break it now, You know it's not Drew Lock, even though he loves young Jeezy. That's all cute. But you got to find it somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you trade up. I think that timing works a little bit to trade up. DK is still in his prime, and he would definitely help. Tyler Lockett, which feels like he's another vampire. Feels like that's because he never gets tackled. Have you seen the montage of him just falling over? That's exactly how I would play football.
I feel like Tyler Lockett's like and this is going to sound disrespectful, but it's not. Like he's like a dollar store Tyreek Hill, where it's like he kind of does do really similar things.
Yeah.
It's just he's Tyreek Hill with like way worse PR. You know, he's not nearly as effective, but he's been incredibly consistent.
Right, and he's a smaller. Career. I mean, he was really walking next to DK, and I know DK's big, but they were walking next to each other on Thanksgiving.
It looks like DK's child.
It looked a little ridiculous. So, look, shout out to Tyler Lockett. He's had a great career, and partly because he doesn't get hit. But, yeah, I feel like the Seahawks, even if they sneak into the playoffs, you got to move on. Your defense is young, going to continue to get better. Your offense is probably somewhat in its prime. What is, we talk about the things that just continue to happen, right? Or just feels like every year there's something. Every year Tomlin can't, even with Big Ben in his later years, every year the Steelers have terrible weather and they can't find a quarterback, right?
But finish 500.
Every year Lamar loses a weapon right when he needs it. And it seems like, also the secondary for the Eagles every year is never healthy. And for the Seahawks,
and the Niners quarterback gets hurt.
The Niners, hopefully not this season. And every year, the running back situation for the Seahawks, somebody's injured.
Yeah.
You cannot stay healthy. It's like the curse of Marshawn Lynch. Ever since they didn't run the football, they cannot. Michael Jordan leaves and the Derrick Rose thing. Yep. It's just like the Chicago Bulls feel like they have a curse. I think that the Seahawks have a curse at the running back position.
That's terrible.
I'm going to ask Brandon about it.
They've had like 10 of them since Marshawn Lynch, and you're right. All of them have been hurt at some
point.
And
how long's it been? Like 4 years, 5 years since they
they had that.
Maybe longer.
I forgot about the Raiders.
Right? No, it was way longer, but there was that weird, like, all the running backs got hurt, so they signed him for a playoff game a few years ago.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So, like, the real Marshawn era ended, it was the Super Bowl that Peyton Manning won because he retired that night. He retired the night of 2016.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. And speaking of
7 years now.
Speaking of Marshawn Lynch, the Pac-12, it was the Pac-10 when this happened. And when the Pac-12 ended, and it was a great game, by the way, with Oregon and Washington, when the Pac-12 people were tweeting and talking about their favorite situations and favorite things that have happened in the Pac-10 or Pac-12, favorite memories, and obviously it's Marshawn Lynch on the medical cart, just gigging, having a good old time. That's when we all should have known that Marshawn Lynch was going to be a guy. And really interesting career for Marshawn Lynch. Not a bust in Buffalo, but he goes to Seattle and is just a completely different beast. They're throwing Skittles. So yeah, we will talk to Brandon Gustafson, writer for the Seattle Sports, at 1:00 because it is really interesting what has been happening in Seattle from the running back position. Okay, Chris.
All right.
I actually didn't see this. I was watching the game live. I was watching the Warriors game last night, and I didn't see it happen, right? But the Warriors are losing to the Blazers, who ended up missing Jeremy Grant, right? He goes out, and DeAndre Ayton wasn't playing. And the Warriors, and this kind of leads us to our Kuminga trade conversation. I see the Sack chat on the YouTube chat asking who that trade would be for. You got to hang on. You got to hang on and listen, Beamer, Beams, or Beamley, and we will have that conversation. So Steph Curry hits that dagger, which I don't know if you saw the highlight, but he did a really aggressive hop skip, which I didn't really think he had in his bag and that I've never seen before. And he does this aggressive hop skip. He makes a three, and the Blazers, really young team. Chauncey probably should have called a timeout at some point because they were controlling the whole game.
Yep.
They don't. Time is running down. The Warriors are up by 1. What can't you do in that situation? Give up a 3.
Give up a 3.
And as much as I talk
really
about
only that.
No, and as much as I talk about the Kings probably trapping too much, Chauncey, you got to send a trap.
Get the ball out of Steph's hands.
Get the ball out of Steph's hands. They don't. Steph dances on him like, he's tap dancing on him.
Simon.
Yeah, and Steph hits a 3. And what does Steph Curry do after hitting the 3 and 15 Blazers, who are looking to add to their young core, right, and get another lottery pick? because I didn't like Scoot Henderson last night, by the way. I was not impressed. Maybe it's the red specs. I don't know what's going on. I was not that is an ugly shot. I know Steph was mentoring him. Yeah, Steph, you need to keep mentoring him. That is how I feel like you think De'Aaron Fox shoots, because that was bad. But anyway, after Steph hits the shot, he does the night-night.
He does.
And I did not see it while I was watching the show. I woke up to it this morning, and he does the night-night. And I'm asking you. I don't think
they showed it on the broadcast.
They did it.
Yeah.
So what was more out of pocket? Steph doing the night-night with the game winner against the Kings in preseason, or Steph doing the night-night last night against the lowly Blazers, missing 2 of their starters?
I actually think it's the Blazers.
As much
as I believe that preseason shouldn't matter, and I thought it was insane that Steph did it in the preseason, at least you can say there's like legitimate beef and history and like very recent history against the Kings. And so you could say, you know, it doesn't matter. It's preseason. It's still like a moment in this matchup. I won't call it a rivalry between the two teams. But like to just do it on a Wednesday against the Blazers where, you're losing the entire game and make a comeback at the end of the game. And, you know, Steph had a terrible first half as well. I mean, he went crazy in the second half. Good on him. I think he had 22 or something in the second half. Good on him. But like that just really says how down bad the Warriors are.
That's
I mean, to me, that's what it is. It's like, that was one of those moments where that was almost like the Kings performance against the Warriors, funny enough, where they're getting killed all game. And it feels like you're almost getting ready for this next day of the repercussions of the loss of, oh my gosh, the Warriors just lost to the Blazers. Like we are really officially at rock bottom. Chris Paul didn't have a good game. Steph and Klay looked terrible. And then they come back and win. And so to kind of be on the edge of your season completely falling apart and then celebrate it like you kind of just clinched a playoff berth or something. I don't know. I just feel like that's the part about Steph that does. I mean, I get it. He's a showman. It's the Kobe Bryant mentality or whatever of you know, some kid paid to watch me today, some Blazer fan who only gets to see Steph twice a year, and I got to show him Steph Curry being Steph Curry. But no, I mean, I think it's
enough.
Yes, thank you, Alan. Thank you, appreciate it.
I struggle with this one. And, you know, he has a relationship with Scoot, so maybe that's a part of it.
Sure.
I'm still going to son you. You're coming up, but you're not me yet. But, yeah, I didn't have a problem. Is there
maybe some, like, Blazer, like, I still own you guys, you know, from way back when.
Right, Aaron Rodgers
playoff series.
Yeah, you guys are never going.
Yeah, is this his Aaron Rodgers against the Bears? I own you.
Right, who haven't really, well, even, I would say
it's like weird flex,
the Blazers, right, the Blazers have even probably been more competitive than the Bears have towards the Packers. I don't think I necessarily had a problem with it, but I'm really close to having a problem with it, if that makes any sense. Because I
feel like Senator Palpatine over here.
Yeah, get into the dark side. I understand. Yeah, and I think you laid it out pretty well.
I just think, Steph, enough.
Why you would not have a problem with it, because you're right. I mean, I had a buddy who was at the game, and you know, you want to get your money's worth.
Totally.
So I get
all
it.
Those Warrior fans were like, this is great.
A win is a win is a win, but I do think it more so speaks to where the Warriors are.
They're taking every victory.
They're taking every victory that they can.
Great.
And, you know, we're going to get into Jonathan Kuminga and the curious case of why Steve Kerr just does not want to play these younger guys. So I think that it just speaks more to the state of the Warriors and why Kings fans are always annoyed when the Kings can't get their stuff together around the Warriors. Now, when the Warriors were rolling, it was one thing. But this team, as we took a call yesterday, and that caller thought that the Kings would be struggling for that 5th, 6th seed just because of the West. And the caller also brought up the Warriors. I think that's where the Warriors are. I think both teams have I would still take the Kings over the Warriors, but they're both in a position where they need to make some decisions.
Yeah.
And Steve Kerr last night eventually said, if you watch the game, Klay Thompson didn't come in for a very long time, and Steve Kerr said that it's time for him to, and we've talked about this with the Kings, it's time for him to maybe look at more game-to-game starting lineups versus this is our set lineup. Because I think what he's saying without saying it is Klay Thompson, and to a lesser degree Andrew Wiggins because of what he does defensively, they can't start every day. That was a very.
You want to bench me?
You want to bench me? Is that what you want to do?
You want to bench Wiggs?
You want to bench Wiggs? Whoa, hey, nobody even talked about Wiggs. But, you're up against an athletic team. And what a surprise when you put in your athletic guys in Jonathan Kuminga, things happen, right? So Klay Thompson might be more of an acquired taste at this point, right? And to be honest with you, I don't know what that taste is. I don't.
No, I don't. I think that's the big problem with Klay right now is how, and it's, you could argue it's a bigger question with the Warriors, but it really does affect Klay as well. But is he just running off of reputation? I was going to say washed, but I will say, I will rephrase and say, is he riding off the fumes of his reputation right now? This is Klay Thompson, the name, and not meeting Klay Thompson at where he actually is right here today as a basketball player. Mm-hmm. Again, it kind of brings up the conversation we had with Brendan and Frankie. I think it was last week. Klay Thompson or Kevin Huerter. Right here today,
it's Kevin Huerter.
Let's truly think about it.
It's Kevin Huerter.
Remove the names. It's the silhouette of player A, player B. Who is really today the better player? And you could argue, you could still say Klay, but I think the bigger point is it's not that far off of a comparison. No. And it shouldn't be if you're Klay Thompson, part of the greatest shooting backcourt of all time and are one of the top 3 or 4 shooters yourself.
You could put it on the Sac chat, on the YouTube chat, and the question, if you were to ask Kings fans right now, right? Monty gets a call. Hey, we'll do Klay for Huerter right now. Are you doing it?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it if I'm the Kings.
I don't think you should.
You can't.
I don't think you should, especially when you factor in age and then you factor in contract, which we're just talking baseline.
This man's getting paid $42 million.
Come on.
All right, we got to get to a break. Kyle said we got to go. When we get back, we are making our picks to win the in-season tournament. Do you care now that the Kings are out? It's kind of a big deal now, of course, now that Sacramento is no longer in the tournament. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Kevin Huerter plays here.
It's Huerter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Huerter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers walked into Philadelphia and took care of business last Sunday, stomping the Dirty Birds 42-19. Quarterback Brock Purdy had 314 yards passing, while Deebo Samuel contributed 138 total yards and 3 touchdowns. The Red and Gold are now 1 game out of the top spot in the NFC and will look to keep their winning streak going when they face Seattle at home in Week 14.
Celebrating over a century as a family-owned business, E.B. Stone has gathered invaluable insights into nurturing plant growth. Venture into indoor planting with E.B. Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil. Watch your little plants flourish into ideal indoor companions for the whole family to relish during the holidays. E.B. Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is a meticulously crafted blend of essential ingredients. Your plants will thrive, both indoors and outdoors. Trust E.B. Stone for the entire lifespan of your garden. Explore more gardening tips, products, and find nearby locations at ebstone.org. Wishing you a season filled with joy and flourishing green.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
This segment is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. It's Friday Eve. There you go. Let's see here. I'm looking at the date. Friday Eve. Oh, this is a weird one. I don't know if it's going to be Payday Friday for a lot of people. But if it is, shout out to you.
It is for me.
There you go, Kyle. Well, we will give you a shout out tomorrow for Payday Friday if it is. Hey, as you know, as the accountant here, and as my mom always says, hey, you get paid. Pretend like you didn't. Don't spend like you got paid.
Okay.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Mom. Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely be following that advice.
You got to. You got to. Well, you know who is going to get paid at the end of, I would say, this season is Juan Soto, who is now a New York Yankee. And we messed with Frankie Cardicelli. It's been a while since I've said it. It's been a while. I went all yesterday without saying Franco, but we talked to Franco Cardo yesterday. Frankie Cardicelli, one of two resident Yankee fans here at Sactown Sports. Jason Ross, the other Yankee fan, and we were giving him a hard time about the Little League ballpark that is Yankee Stadium.
We were really
giving
mostly
him a hard time. It was mostly me.
Yeah, you know Chris Watkins.
Yeah,
there you go.
Always talking trash about baseball.
And look, you still got to put the bat on the ball. We saw Joey Gallo, who is another big lefty. Right. He couldn't do anything in that ballpark. And as they say, the lights may be too bright. I mean, Juan Soto wasn't outstanding in San Diego, and Kyle, our resident Padre fan, can kind of confirm. He warmed up a little bit.
He was our best hitter last year, which I know isn't saying a ton, but Juan Soto was really good.
He's really good. He's 25 years old.
During that World Series run.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Didn't he get MVP in that World Series?
Oh, for the Nationals? No, that was Strasburg.
Strasburg got it. So, but that was supposed to be his coming out party. He already has a World Series ring. So we'll see what he's able to do. I saw yesterday on MLB Network or one of the stations, they have him projected to play right field. He is a corner outfielder. I like him better in left. So,
but they also got Verdugo, who's a left fielder, I guess, at this point. So I don't know.
They still need pitching, and they still need somebody that can hit a curveball when it's cold outside. So until the Yankees fix that, I don't know what to make of them. So shout out to the Yankees. He's already clean shaven. You don't have to shave. You don't have to shave him.
Was so close to getting a Juan Soto jersey.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
We were so close. Just
nowadays, if it's basketball, you never know. They might just decide I don't want my contract anymore. If it's football, might be the safest sport to buy a jersey in.
Yeah, because players don't have leverage in negotiation.
Exactly. Unfortunately, since
players don't have power in that sport.
Yeah, it's the best one to buy a jersey in, or So Juan Soto to the Yankees. We're still on Shohei watch. Apparently, Shohei is supposed to make his decision before the end of the weekend. So before the end of the weekend, we will know where Shohei is going. Giants second best odds, which is fitting because they are always the bridesmaid. So I don't know if Giants fans should feel good about that or feel and have night flashes and heat and night
Charlie
sweats
Brown
about
syndrome
it.
here.
Exactly. It's Groundhog Day all over again. So we'll see where Shohei ends up. Now let's talk in-season tournament and picking the winner of the in-season tournament. Let's go around the room here. Kyle, okay, you got the Bucks, you got the Lakers, you got the Pacers, and you have the Pelicans.
Pellies.
Okay, so I feel good that
was quick, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, is that your pick?
No,
or you just saying
I was
Pellies?
just saying Pellies.
Just Pellies is fun to say.
Yeah.
The Pels.
Yeah.
The
Young
Cans.
Pels. The Young Pels.
So I feel like whoever comes out of the East is going to win, but I don't know who's going to win between the Bucks and Pacers tonight. That game is going to be really fun to watch. Like, I don't know if I'm as excited about Lakers Pelicans, but I'm thrilled to watch Bucks Pacers. So,
and you think the winner of that will win the whole thing?
Yeah, the winner of that will win the whole thing. I guess because I don't want to be lame, I'll say the Bucks.
Okay, and one storyline that hasn't been talked about a lot is I know he went to a Western Conference Finals, but this is another opportunity for Damian Lillard, who they've been in the playoffs, and you don't got to deal with Steph this time, Dame, so maybe you'll be able to get it done. So I think that's a storyline. This would be the first opportunity for Damian Lillard, who hasn't played outstanding to start the season, to say, hey, you don't have to deal with the Celtics because they lost. So, hey, we're in the building, and we can really get this done. So, Kyle, you have the Bucks.
I'll take the Bucks.
I'm shocked that more people, to your point, aren't talking also more about the Zion LeBron-ness of this all. Like, this would have been like pay-per-view television. Like, this is the future against the I guess with Anthony so many questions about and Anthony Davis's return, or I guess revenge against the Pelicans, and Brandon Ingram's revenge to the Lakers.
That's all,
as well.
folks. That's
so
all, folks.
It's all involved in there. But I agree with I don't really think either team in the West has a really good shot. Unless the Pacers are. I kind of think the Bucks are going to take it. If the Pacers make it to the final, I do kind of like both of the Western Conference teams a little bit more, but I feel like the Bucks are just a really tough matchup at the end of the day. Like, when it comes down to it, I don't know if anybody can slow down Giannis, and you throw Dame onto there as well. Like, I just don't think that either or any of the teams really present anybody who can slow those guys down. So I'm just going to have to take the Bucks.
Really, guys? Did you not see the game 2 nights ago? You think Adam Silver ain't letting LeBron take this thing home, the inaugural NBA Cup? All I'm going to say is this. I'm not going to go full tinfoil hat. I normally don't do that until after 11. So I'm not going to go full tinfoil hat yet. All I'm going to say is, if you're the Pelicans or whoever has to go up against the Lakers, don't let it be close. Don't let it be close.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Don't put it in the NBA's hands.
Not
in Las Vegas.
Not in Las Vegas. Not in Las Vegas. Okay? So I'm going with the Lakers. That's what I'm saying. Because the way they play, they're going to start whipping their head like Willow Smith. You got D'Lo doing it. Austin Reeves doing it. On my neck, my back. And they're going to get to the free throw line. LeBron is going to be LeBron. AD is going to, because AD is in spurts, very similar to his counterpart, Zion, right? So AD is going to have, all you need is 2 good games. You can get 2 good games from AD, right? Normally not in a row, but I think that they got enough. The lights might be...
AD's going to be motivated too.
AD's going to be motivated. I think the lights might be too bright for the Pelicans. I think
Definitely
the Pelicans are similar, right? I don't think that we have not seen the Pelicans go on a run. They played darn good against the Kings. I don't see them playing like that again. So I know you like Austin Reeves, but Austin Reeves is a prime. He is a prime time. He's a national game merchant. He's a national game merchant. When it's a national game,
he likes it when the lights are brightest.
He likes it when the lights are bright. He will be boogieing on people, and then we'll have to have this conversation about, did we write off Austin Reeves too quickly. He's not good on NBA League Pass, but he's good when the lights are bright.
In a playoff game last year, he waved off LeBron on the wing and called
He already did it. He already did it. He already showed up in this last game, right? That the Lakers beat the Suns. That was nuts. So I think Austin Reeves goes off. I think LeBron is LeBron, and I think it is just too obvious here.
Yeah.
The Lakers will win the cup because that is the one team I would argue that can power through nice little. I know they'll get jokes to say, okay, you can win a bubble championship and win the in-season tournament. Right. Can you win the real thing? But at the same time, it's LeBron. It's the Lakers. It's Hollywood in LA. Yeah. They'll have, because I don't know what we were talking. I don't know what those crowds are going to look like in LA. I don't know how many people are flying out.
In Vegas. I need to think about that.
In Vegas, because
there's going to be tons of LA people.
If you are a Laker fan, Laker fans is easy. If you're in California, it's a quick trip.
Right.
But in terms of, we just found out. So you found out 2 days ago. Are you really firing up a flight to go to Vegas? If you are
it's not even a flight though. It's like a 2-3 hour drive from LA, I think, though.
Closer to 4.
Yeah, but you could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it.
Especially on short notice.
But I'm saying that would have to be all LA.
But there's
Laker
also
fans.
just enough Laker fans out there in the universe in general to where, especially more than Milwaukee Bucks fans or New Orleans Pelicans or Indiana Pacers fans.
Well, they're going to do something because they're not going to want it to look. They don't want it to look empty in there. So I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe it'll be the camera view. I don't know what they're going to do, but they will make sure it does not look empty in there.
It's a 20,000 seat arena. I don't think there's any way it's going to look empty.
No, there's no way.
That was probably on purpose.
I think there's probably going to be like 13 to 14,000 Laker fans. I think that there's going to be a huge percentage of Laker fans there.
But if I'm a Laker fan in LA, I guess unless you can just take off the weekend, I would definitely wait to see. I think the problem is tonight's game.
You know what I mean? It's definitely in question.
I would wait to see if they win, and then we're mobbing out on Saturday.
For sure.
I think this is a game there. I'm very interested to see
what the crowd looks like on a Thursday in Vegas.
Exactly.
In the middle of December.
And that Eastern Conference game, I think the NBA just has to pray. Because
that's
Bucks
at 2:00, isn't it? I think that game is starting like right when we get off air today.
That's
if I'm
rough.
not mistaken. And so it's like, they're you could almost argue they're just
those tickets got to be. What's cheaper? Those tickets.
I got the answer for you right here. If you had to guess, what do you think is cheaper? A ticket
the cheapest ticket?
What do you think is cheaper? Patriots Steelers tonight or the first game between the Pacers and Bucks?
It's got to be
It better be
game?
Pacers. I'm sorry. It better be Steelers.
I'm going with the
Pacers.
basketball game.
It better be football.
It's basketball. The first game. The second game is not. So the ticket prices as they stand for the.
So they're individual tickets too.
Yeah, they're individual. So they're going to clear out the arena and then you come back in.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
That's terrible.
For March Madness, kind of. You have to buy packages.
Sometimes,
you can't really sit
you buy
there
like a
all
2-game package, and then you have to get the second half. So the Pelicans Lakers game tickets cheapest right now are $80.
Okay.
For Pacers and Bucks, cheapest tickets are $16.
They're going to be giving away. I guarantee you, every casino is going to say, hit on black, and we'll give you tickets to the game too. Just go, because I think this is also a quiet time for Vegas.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think this is a really busy time for Vegas. Now the Raiders do play at home because that's why you'll be at the Vikings game. But I'm. There will be some camera tricks. Look out for the trickery.
It's going to be a blacked out crowd.
Somehow
you're just going to see the floor.
We want it to look like LA, so you can't actually see the crowd. There's just a spotlight, and we're just going to go like the Seattle Seahawks and just pump up the sound the whole time. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, CP3 versus Scott Foster. What happens in round 2? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet arch support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Seth Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Seth Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Seth's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Niners, Seahawks. Kings, Suns, it's going to be a good game, man. This is another team with some length. Kevin Durant is cooking. I mean, I still can't get over the splits. Can you say the splits again? Just
the
roughly?
Kevin Durant splits?
Actually, the most important one is Kevin Durant is shooting 50% from three-point land.
It's insane.
That's absurd.
He's quite literally shooting 50% on the dot from three. It's ridiculous. His numbers just don't make sense this year, especially again when you factor in the fact that he's 35 years old. Okay, I will not disrespect and say 36. He is 35 years old. He's got all the wear and tear on his body. He's only taking 4.6 threes per game, which does seem low, especially for a guy like Kevin Durant. And then when you consider De'Aaron's taking 8.2.
Yeah, that's true. He's got to distribute too because everybody's always injured.
Exactly. So, yeah, KD's shooting split so far on the season, again, 31 points per game. He's averaging 36.7 minutes, which is 0.1 minutes more than De'Aaron is. So he's putting in a ridiculous amount of time every single game, shooting 52% from the field, 50% on the dot from three, 89.2% from the field. Again, 31 points per game. Just ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. So we will see Kevin Durant up close and personal tomorrow night as the Kings take on the Suns, and we will break down the legacy of Kevin Durant here in the next segment. And I'm really interested to see what people think because he's kind of gone from a villain to I don't really know how many. When the Suns come to town, we got to beat the Suns. It's almost the one big three that doesn't really give you any emotion. Maybe that's because they haven't played as a big three yet.
Exactly.
Maybe that's part of it. And Bradley Beal, unless you're a real hoop fan playing all those years with the Wizards, I don't know how many people have actually – that was a name floating around. very similar to a Zach LaVine.
Yeah, totally.
Because hey, these are names, but how many Sacramento Kings fans or any West Coast team that is clamoring for Bradley Beal, how many Wizard games have you actually fired up, right? So
this is how I felt about people who said they love Drew Holiday. I'm like, you're not watching him on the Pelicans.
This is how I feel about OG Anunoby currently.
I feel that way
shout.
too.
Yeah.
I feel that way too.
Like, how many people are
It's
really
just- it's a
out here
name.
watching Raptor
It's a
games?
name.
How
Yeah.
many people are watching LaMelo Ball outside of highlights?
Yeah, but that's all you need, right? That's why the OG Anunoby thing is even funnier because he doesn't have highlights.
No.
LaMelo, at least you have highlights, right, to go off of. But
that's a great shout, Chris.
But yeah, no, that is a good call. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to our guy Willie. Willie, word on the street is you were driving and you heard our talking about Steph Curry and you had some thoughts. What you got for us, Willie? Stiles and Watkins.
Man, and then y'all talking about Klay. Let me tell you something, man. Look, you guys got to put things in context.
Okay.
You got, I know you got to do a show. I know you have to come up with, ideas and stuff like that. But look, man, Klay has always been a Kings killer, man. His whole career, man. I think he scored 37 in one quarter against the Kings.
Really? That was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Look, Klay. Look, man. Klay is instrumental in those 4 championships they got.
Hey, so Michael Jordan was instrumental in the Bulls' 6 championships too.
Don't hold up with me. Listen to me. Hold on. Look, the Kings passed up. Okay, check this out. This is context. The Kings could have drafted Steph. The Kings could have drafted Klay. The Kings could have drafted Luka. We got to put all this stuff in context. I'm a Kings fan.
I know.
We got to be real. Just like when we call in, like after the Kings lost the 2 games to Houston and the 3 games to New Orleans, and we call in and we fans and we venting and y'all, especially Drake, man, especially.
But Willie, we know the history. Trust me, I know it well. My question is this: right now,
today,
you are the GM for the Kings. They say, hey, we'll give you Klay Thompson for Kevin Huerter straight up. Are you doing it? You're taking it.
Hell yeah, I'll take it. You got championship experience. Man. And look, every great player go through a slump. Every great player go through a slump. And then you got Stanley. Is Stanley Johnson coming to the Kings or what?
No, he's not.
Maybe.
No, he's not.
Eventually.
No, he's not.
Man, that would have been a nice little upgrade. It would have been a nice little defensive upgrade. And see when people call in and say HB, he averaging 2 rebounds a game.
3.
But Drake kill you, man. Well, who do you want to replace him with? Nobody's saying they want to replace him, man.
I know.
It's just that we just talking facts. We got to do better on rebounding, and if he's going to be a starter, I don't care what he's done. Like you say, Klay, what he's done in the past.
I hear you. Thanks for the call, Willie. Thanks for the call.
Always.
Look, the Klay Thompson thing is fine. I get the championship experience.
I get it.
And look, if you want to take Klay over Kevin Huerter, that's fine.
More power to you.
All I'm saying is that it's closer.
Yes.
Than I think a lot of people thought it would or should be.
You
could even say that is a bit sad.
Yeah.
Right? Because we know it's due to injury. Right. We get all that. But the fact remains, I watched the game last night.
Right.
Klay Thompson makes one shot, and it's go time.
Yeah.
It's go time. He took one of the worst 3-pointers, and you have Warriors media calling him out that the kid gloves are off.
Yeah.
Right? Steve Kerr said himself, they've been saying, they're putting out the geriatric 5. That's what they're saying over there in the Bay, because they continue to start Klay and Wiggins when they're stinking up the joint.
Yep.
And I get every year they do this with Klay. And I get it. At the beginning of the season, we talked the same thing about Kevin Huerter. And Kevin Huerter was in a slump. I get it. I'm just saying it is much closer than you think. That's it.
Especially when you're talking about what they're being asked to do. Like Klay Thompson at this point in his career is not being asked to do the same things he was being asked to do previously. Now he's pretty much just a scorer.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they ask him to do.
Right.
Well, if you're only really being asked to be a scorer, he's shooting 39% from the field and he's shooting 34% from 3. That's not good at all.
No.
That is, again, we're talking right here today. that's something that that's what Keegan Murray's shooting right now, and he's having a terrible season in terms of where he's probably been his entire life.
Here you go. We don't have time to go through the whole thing, but I can guarantee you that Klay Thompson is putting up more shots than Kevin Huerter. Here are the stats real quick before we get to the break. Kevin Huerter is averaging 12.9 points. We can call it 13 if you want. 4.7 rebounds and 3 assists, shooting 45%. Klay Thompson is averaging 15 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.2 assists, shooting 39% from the field. And we got to get to break. I will read it off. I can guarantee you Klay is taking way more shots than Kevin Huerter. I can guarantee you that much. All right? So, look, there is no wrong answer. There is no wrong answer. But to act like it's not close right now, it is close. It is close. All right? Got to get to a break. When we get back, talking more Kings, also talking a former Warrior who is going to face the Sacramento Kings tomorrow night. Kevin Durant, what do you think of when you think of Kevin Durant? What's his legacy, and what will it be? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
This holiday season, create a fun and joyful memory for you and your loved ones. Come light the world and help those in need through the Giving Machine in the Roseville Galleria Mall, November 16th through December 10th. And in Modesto at Valley Fair Mall, December 11th through January 2nd. Choose from local charities serving your community or from global charities worldwide. Come feel the Christmas spirit at the Giving Machine. Learn more at GivingMachineGreaterSacramentoModesto.org.
TruckSmart knows truck and SUV owners love gifts for their vehicles. Whether it's a work truck or a daily driver, TruckSmart can help you make them happy this holiday season. Truck steps, trailer hitches, toolboxes, suspension products, off-road gear, and more. TruckSmart stocks the right products that fit and last for years. Need help with an install? Trained techs are on hand to get it done right. For 35 years, TruckSmart has been the source for great products and service. Visit TruckSmart today in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart, your truck's gonna love them.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hold on to your Santa hats because Elk Grove Kia is turning up the holiday heat with deals that'll leave you saying no, no, no money down. This Christmas, keep your wallet at home because Elk Grove Kia is making your dreams come true with 0 down payment. That's right, absolutely nothing out of your pocket to drive home in a brand new Kia today. Or if you're ready to slay the season in style, picture this, the award-winning 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, the hottest sled in town, for just $439 per month plus tax. You heard it right, only $439. So whether it's the sleek 2024 Kia Telluride or the no money down offer, Elk Grove Kia says 0 hassles and 0 worries. ElkGroveKia.com. Qualified applicants, 0 down, example, spot number GK9133, 48 monthly, 0 down, model number C3422, Telluride 24 monthly, 439 plus tax, 4495, new signing, service period, plus residual, 33,352, and keep your December, GK9143 expires
Elk Grove Kia.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung a line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking Niners, talking Kings, and we will be joined by Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports. That will be at 1 p.m. You won't want to miss it. Maybe we'll give him a hard time. Maybe we'll take it easy on him. We're also talking breakfast. So I did want to throw this out.
We are.
No, I wanted to throw this out quickly.
This is news to
And
me.
the Sac Chat, I want to hear from you. The text line, 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. So me and Chris are starting to get into our pre-show and get the rundown and everything taken care of. And, you know, I needed to have my breakfast. So I brought in some yogurt, some Greek yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
And in my Greek yogurt, I was curious if I'm out of bounds here. I go Greek yogurt with granola, with some craisins. And to top it off, I go chunky peanut butter with my Greek yogurt. I thought it was a thing. After talking to some people, I don't know if it's actually a thing or not. Yogurt and peanut butter. Is it a thing or not?
I don't think it's like a thing, but I guess you could probably make smoothies with it and it wouldn't be that out of pocket. But definitely for like just a yogurt setup, like you were pretty much just making a parfait, but you included the yogurt in it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, texture wise, like it kind of messes. Like peanut butter is so dry and thick, and like yogurt is kind of the opposite of that. And so I would imagine there's a little bit of clashing of like getting a spoonful of yogurt, but then like
it's
a chunk of like
contrast
peanut butter. That would be my only concern. I don't think taste wise you're too far out of bounds. You're close.
It's plain Greek yogurt, by the way. It is not
but chunky peanut butter, right? So there's like
chunky
bits of peanuts
That's right.
in it. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's super dry.
I saw how you were looking, Kyle. You thought it looked pretty good.
Oh, well, yeah, but here's the thing. I eat food like a pelican. I just like consume everything that's available. So I'm not the best gauge for this, but yeah, it seemed really good. I'm just imagining the flavor combinations, and it seems good.
And normally we didn't have any fresh fruit. Normally I'll go some blackberries in there too.
Blueberries, maybe some
blueberries and strawberries, something like that. Amid Rock on the Sac Chat says, sounds like a deconstructed power smoothie.
Yeah, that's what that's exactly what you could say if you were doing Chopped or something like that. You could definitely say this is a deconstructed.
That's right. That's what I would make on Chopped.
This is a deconstructed peanut butter smoothie. Which at that point it's actually just fine dining when you think about it. Your palate is just advanced.
I could charge $15 for that now.
You could probably charge more than that.
It's crazy when you take something apart, when you do less work, you can charge more.
You just need acai, right?
Yes.
If you just say you have acai, then
yes, that's right.
$20 easy.
That's right. That's right. Joe Cataldo on the Sac Chat says it's a thing. Thank you, Joe. I thought it was
interesting,
but I also kind of didn't want it to be a thing.
I would probably roast you for it.
I made it up.
If I were your friends, I would probably roast you for it. Like my girlfriend has a couple things that are like in that same wheelhouse of she swears that it's kind of a thing and that it tastes. She does cottage cheese, which I'm already out on. It's cottage cheese, avocado, and like balsamic dressing. Terrible.
Like a salad type of thing? Or
Yeah, just like you can either put it.
I've never had.
You can either put the cottage cheese like into the avocado pit, or you could just take out the avocado and like put it into a bowl. And then there's
so avocado is the base. That's weird.
A peanut butter pickle sandwich is another one of hers.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I was like, that's
peanut butter and pickles?
I think it's peanut butter, pickle, and mayo even that. And I was like, come on.
Peanut butter and mayo is a choice.
It's
not
a good one. Yeah. So
I don't know about
I would roast that. You just saying the peanut butter in the Greek yogurt, to me, it kind of, I don't know if it's as egregious as those, but
it's in the same.
It definitely goes into that.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Brennan putting mayo on his hot dogs, then
you know what? We bullied him enough, and I didn't bring it up on the roundtable yesterday. He went. Last game, he had mayo and Tabasco.
He did put Tabasco.
Yeah, we bullied him so much.
Just like dabs of Tabasco, like in his bun.
And I was roasting him because the way he was eating it, I said, "You don't even like that, dude. You just don't want to get made fun of anymore."
You guys have bullied Brennan into not eating his hot dogs the way he wants. Anyways,
it's not great.
So where would you rank the peanut butter pickle mayo on that?
I'm so far out on that.
Yeah,
I am,
but it's close to a 10. No, it's close to a 10. That to me, peanut butter pickle mayo is close to a 10 to me.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why you would ever put those things together.
Okay, so Chris, let me ask you then: where does the peanut butter yogurt combination that Stiles had this morning rank?
It's a 5 or 6 for sure.
Go.
It's like it's a solid 5.
People are saying, it's a thing. I'm seeing it on the chat.
It doesn't seem that
and the text line.
The texture is really more where I have the issue, because again, it just feels like you get like really creamy yogurt and then you just get like a thick glob of like, because you can't really stir in the peanut butter.
No, I don't. I like them separate, but in the same.
So wait,
so it's almost like it's almost like a side dish. Yeah, you just kind of like scoop it
and then I eat it.
But I saw you with the bowl, like you were kind of mixing them together a bit, but
towards the end.
But you also had like granola and stuff.
Yeah,
like. So wait, Chris, does it change if it's creamy peanut butter and creamy yogurt?
It might help it a little, but yeah, I think it helps it a little because again, it's more just like getting the massive chunks of just dry peanut butter in the yogurt is just when I try and picture it.
It's never like that.
Okay.
I hear you though.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Which is fine. I'm not the person who's like crunchy or creamy, whatever. You know, both are really good.
That's
but
just
like
a mental block,
conversation for a different.
Yeah, but
we can definitely have the creamy.
I don't think you're out of pocket. I don't know if you were self-conscious about it, but I don't think you're out of pocket.
No, I'm not self-conscious about anything. Really.
Yeah.
And you know who else isn't very self-conscious, or maybe he is? And you talk about choices. Well, he made a huge one. And that's Kevin Durant when he decided to go to the Golden State Warriors. And Kevin Durant made this choice, and he knew that there was no going back.
Yep.
And instead of doubling down on it, he decides to leave the Warriors and go to the Brooklyn Nets. And as Kyle was saying during the break, is this the worst case scenario for somebody, the talent level of Kevin Durant? And I think we can't answer that yet, unless he gets a championship with the Suns. When, again, you have a Devin Booker. We'll talk about ranking Devin Booker later as well. But you have Devin Booker. You have Bradley Beal. If he ever broken Beal, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that because he's never on the court. But if he gets another one, maybe we look at things differently. The list of players that will be in the Hall of Fame that Kevin Durant has played with is ridiculous, right? And if you are a Warrior fan, you can sit back and say, he only has a championship with one of them, or maybe two of them, or three of them if you count Draymond and Klay Thompson. No one else has been able to figure it out. Kevin Durant hasn't been able to figure out. Obviously, he has an injury. He's fully back at this point. I know he's had a couple other injuries, but he looks good when he's playing. You just read his splits. And my question is, when you think of face of the league, I think it's a really interesting question because you have Steph Curry, you have LeBron James. Is Kevin Durant the best player in the history of basketball that has never been the face of the league? Unless you think he has been the face of the league at some point. I don't think he has.
I don't think he has ever, because it did kind of, obviously LeBron was the face for so long, and then it shifted immediately to Steph, and then now we're kind of in this in between where Giannis was for a little. It feels like, I guess, would you consider Jokic, or I guess you could still say LeBron, Steph?
I'd go Giannis
still
over
have
Jokic.
the face. I would probably say so if I had to guess. I mean, just thinking about how many. Yeah, because I mean, traditionally throughout time, the best players have always been the guys at the top, whether it was Wilt and Bill Russell to Jerry West, who's quite literally the logo, and then you have Bird and Magic were the two best players, and I mean, pretty much Shaq and Kobe in the early 2000s. Maybe Tim Duncan, you could say, is maybe somebody who you can never consider being the actual face of the NBA, but even at his time, he's probably a top 15 player of all time, and I think KD is somewhere in that 15 to 20 range. You would have to have Duncan higher than KD, so that would probably be the one is probably Tim Duncan. But besides that, no, I don't think so.
Are we making a distinction here between best player in the league and face of the league?
Yeah, is he the best player that has never been viewed as the face of the league?
Yes, I think that's fair. He was never the face of the league, although from 2017 to 2019, he was probably the best player in the league.
For
you
sure.
can make that argument. Yeah. And what's weird is Jokic is not a household name yet, right? And the way I always do this is if you ask your mom or your dad who doesn't follow sports, do you know who Nikola Jokic is? The answer would still be no. Giannis, I think my mom would know who Giannis is. I at least would know.
Or they'll get them confused.
Or they'll get
they'll be like, I know one of them, but I don't know.
Right.
I can't put the name to the face.
What's confusing is, and even adds to the case of Kevin Durant, is that my mom would know who Kevin Durant is.
Definitely.
Kevin Durant is a household name. Yes. So how many people have crossed over to household name but never gotten that face of the NBA namesake, right? And I would even try to compare it to baseball in a sense. It's different because Kevin Durant's been in a bunch of commercials and he's really active on social media, because Mike Trout is a guy who famously, I don't know if he's still the best player in the league, but he was for a very long time, and he was never the quote unquote face, but it was almost as if he didn't want to be.
Right.
This is different to me because I don't think KD either did or didn't want to be. He just wasn't.
KD just loves hoop. That's what he'll tell you.
He loves hoop and he loves burner accounts.
He doesn't care about promotion and all that stuff. He
Yeah.
just wanted to be known as the hooper, and you know what? That's to his credit. I think that's kind of what it is. I think at the start of his career, he definitely was he definitely was trying to be the face of the NBA, whether that was like a Nike driven push or a KD driven push. I don't know, but I would say his OKC years were the closest he ever got to being the face of the league, actually. Like, I think there was a real movement in the 2014 to 16 range where KD, was the Slim Reaper, and he had his own signature shoe, which was like probably the, besides Kobe's, if I had to guess, KD's, at least culture wise, were the basketball shoe to wear when I was in high school. I think that's probably the closest he got, but it feels like after he went to Golden State, everything changed. Much like how when LeBron went to Miami, everything changed for him. I think when he went to Golden State, he just picked up so many enemies that he just never, and I think, frankly, all the noise of that as well got to him in a similar way it got to LeBron, but the way KD reacted to it was, I think he shut down, and I think LeBron tried to embrace it, and I think KD got hurt by it and really internalized it and was like, wow, this is the example of everybody turning against me. And I think that's where the whole burner situation came from, and everything was just him feeling like he was becoming that household name. He was becoming face of the league. Everyone, you're the real MVP was like one of the original memes,
right?
For God's sake, like everyone was so pro KD, and then instantly turned overnight that it feels like that really, the moment he decided to join the Warriors was really the day that his legacy started to be cemented. Because he was definitely up. He was going up here. After getting eliminated by the Warriors in that 7-game series, people were like, that's as close as anyone got to beating the Warriors challenging them.
Yeah, they wanted KD.
Yeah.
They wanted that team to win. And I think it is weird because he took that. He did not leave, even though he went to another super team with two other guys that bother a lot of people. I think after that first year when they didn't do anything, an injury or whatever it was, he wasn't even, what's worse, right? how the old saying goes, I'd rather be talked bad about, right, than to not be talked about at all. And I think that Kevin Durant is in this space where he went from villain to just nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. And I think maybe they'll care if they start to get better. And Devin Booker is a chirper. He likes to chirp. So maybe it'll come back once all three of them get on the court. But that would have to happen first. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, continue the conversation about the Kings, going up against the Suns, the legacy of Kevin Durant, and ranking Devin Booker. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's that time of year again. Sactown Sports is welcoming Santa back to town for the 40th annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 9th in downtown Sacramento. Grab the family and join us as we celebrate Santa's arrival with marching bands, superheroes, cheer squads, and more. Parade starts at 10 a.m. at 14th and N.
We'll see you Saturday, December 9th in downtown for the Santa Parade with Shriners Children's Northern California, California National Guard, and Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning. Get more information at SactownSports.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. One-stop Honda shop.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kings, Suns, tomorrow night, a showdown in Phoenix. You ever been to Phoenix, Chris?
I had a layover there. I think that's where Southwest has their, that's where they're headquartered. So, no, I would say I have not been to Phoenix.
We actually had this conversation. Does it count to say I don't know who does this, right? Kids do it, and maybe if you're bored, icebreakers for companies. Right. How many states have you been to? And we were talking about, do you have to set foot? Do you have to spend a night? What do you have to do? Because I was actually born in Virginia, and we moved when I was 5, and we drove. We didn't fly. So basically, I could claim
you've been
all the
to
states
all
that
these states,
everywhere
right,
in the Midwest that we came across. We only actually stepped out of, it took a week, and I think we stayed, I don't know, I was 5 years old. But I do remember getting out to touch the salt flats in Utah and tasting some of the salt. So I would say, I was a kid, right?
Right.
So I would say that I've been to Utah, but I don't think I would count anywhere else.
I think if you step outside of the airport, you can say that you have been to that place, like that because if you stop for a layover in the airport, then it's like you didn't really experience. But if you
like Denver, I've laid over in Denver, but I've never kicked it in Denver.
You have the airports being like an international embassy. It's
pretty much
It's pretty much. It's not technically the state, but
sanctuary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that doesn't count to me. But you have not been to Phoenix?
No, I have not. No. Hear great things. I hear great things minus the heat.
It's a great time.
Uh-huh.
It's a great time.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Here it's a fantastic.
I will be going back.
There's a lot of great places in Arizona.
Yes.
If you're trying to have a great time.
It's a lot of fun. If you're a golfer as well, there are plenty of golf courses out there. I will be going back in March. So I'm going back in March to do a little boys trip, guys trip in March. It'll be, I believe it'll be during March Madness. So we're going back, going to do some golfing up there. But yeah, if you haven't been to Phoenix, it is a good time. Not sure if it's technically a big market or not. I would say no.
I would say no. But it's it's known. I would say. I don't know in terms of like the economy, how well the Phoenix economy does, but in terms of just popularity and if you say, hey, I'm moving to Phoenix, I wouldn't say, what are you going to do down there? What are you doing that for? So that's my barometer of if it's a big city or not. So I would say Phoenix is mid-market.
By population, it's 5th in America.
Is it really?
Wow.
Yeah, right there with Philadelphia, San Antonio, San Diego, and Dallas.
Wow. That's must be a lot of retired folks,
It is.
right? It's like one of those.
My buddy said we need to
places.
lock down a golf course now for March.
Gotcha.
Phoenix is also one of those cities that people from California moved to a lot during the pandemic.
Right, because it's similar climate, but way cheaper.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
There you go. All right. Well, speaking of Phoenix,
there you go.
You have Devin Booker, who is the counterpart. I would say out of the big three, it's KD, Devin Booker, and then Bradley Beal.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
And Devin Booker, I think, is a very interesting case because we have all these kind of combo guards, right? And I'm here on the Sporting News, and what I put in, this was updated October 10th, and when I put in top shooting guards, there is no Devin Booker, and I believe that's because they have Bradley Beal 7.
Right.
And I know it's
they also might list. Yeah,
I know it's positionless basketball, so I don't even know. These lists are going to get more and more confusing because where do you put Giannis? Where do you put Devin Booker?
Luka.
Where do you put Luka? They just need a baller segment where you just put everyone in that category. I mean, Kyle, I know you are the resident Devin Booker stan here.
I appreciate that you remembered that.
Of course, you made it very clear where you stand on Devin Booker, but I am not as high on Devin Booker as I think Kyle is, or a lot of people are. Chris, what is your take on Devin Booker and where he falls in the upper echelon of guards and just basketball players in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tough case because, I mean, he really didn't have much success in his career until recently, and then once he found success, it's kind of just been consistently up there. And so, it's tough to say in terms of like impact, how much impact he has, but he's clearly one of the best scorers in the NBA right now. Like he is pound for pound one of the best just pure buckets that we have in the NBA. And that's obviously incredibly valuable, especially at the position he plays. Mm-hmm. I think he's definitely capable of being like the 1B on a finals team. I don't know if he's really capable of putting a team on his back and winning a title. Maybe in a couple years when the LeBrons and the Stephs are cleared out, and maybe Jokic is in a different phase of his career. Who knows where Joel Embiid is? Because that's the thing about Devin Booker is he's like the Jason Tatum is still only 21. Yeah. People forget Devin Booker entered the league like as early as you possibly can. He had just turned 18.
And he was a sixth man.
And he was a sixth man for in college at Kentucky. A lot of people, myself included, had questions about the guy he was going to be in the NBA. He's still only 27 years old, which is just absolutely ridiculous. He's a dude who's got potential definitely to be a top 5 player for the next 5 to 10 years. But to me, it's really just a matter of how much he locks in defensively, because we saw him in the playoffs last year turn into an absolute monster on the defensive end of the floor. If he can be a real two-way player, that's where he can really be. We talk about faces of the league. Like, he can be a top 3 player consistently in this league. He can be an MVP candidate if that's a legitimate thing. If he can put up 28 points per game and be a lockdown defender as well, sky's the limit for him.
Devin Booker, to me, is not as good as Jason Tatum, but I do think that he's in that realm where we got to figure out what you're going to be pretty soon here, right? So he would be 1B on this team if they were to win a championship with Kevin Durant. Whether they win one or not, whenever Kevin Durant at 35 doesn't have that many years left, I think what we're seeing now is that you need a collection of 2 players that level, no matter how you get there, that level is just, I don't want to say otherworldly, but pretty darn close. If you look at the championships these last couple years, you have Jokic and Jamal Murray. I think Devin Booker is better than Jamal Murray,
I would say,
but he's not going to have Jokic on his team because Jokic is on the Nuggets. So that second player, right? So even though you might not need a Jokic, but you need that number 2. If Kevin Durant were to retire tomorrow, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are not winning a championship.
No.
So you need something else. Now, let's go to, obviously, the year before that, you have the Warriors, right? You have the Warriors, and you have Steph playing otherworldly, and you can make the argument it was a collection of Andrew Wiggins and friends to kind of get that done. Before that, Giannis being that guy, and then Giannis has
going against Devin Booker.
He had a different Chris Paul at that point in time, but Devin Booker was the guy.
He was that guy.
So, but you had Giannis and you had Middleton. So everybody needs someone. I'm not saying that it's only Devin Booker, and I don't think that's what you're saying either. But he is in that category to where it's, hey, are you going to be that guy, or are you going to be that secondary guy and the Suns go get another person? That's why I do think it's important if you're a Suns fan that you get it done now.
Well, and I think that's what's so important about this season, and what's been a little bit alarming about the fact that KD is holding such a heavy load is I think people like Kyle would honestly, I think a lot of people were expecting and would say, I think a lot of people feel like Kevin Durant is the 1A on this team, but it's actually secretly Devin Booker.
Right.
And I think how this season has played out is Devin Booker just hasn't quite taken that leap that we're talking about yet, where we feel like you say you don't think he's as good as Jason Tatum. I pretty much have them as a wash.
Really?
I think they're pretty much the same player. I think Jason Tatum has more height, has more size to him, and so that allows him to be a little bit more impactful. But to me, I mean, you're really kind of splitting hairs. Like, I view those guys the same way that I would view the Klay Thompson, Kevin Huerter comparison, where, maybe one is a little bit more advanced, but for the most part, for all intents and purposes, they're pretty much at the same level and do the same thing. So I think Booker's close, but he hasn't been able to take that mantle in a similar fashion. I would say the same exact thing about Jason Tatum, where he's been close. He looks like he's that guy, and even at moments you're convinced he is that guy. But then push comes to shove, he just hasn't been able to really hold the mantle of I am that guy, and you can rely on me in every moment that you need.
I would take Jason Tatum over Devin Booker.
I understand why you would.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that crazy to say.
But I probably sound a little bit too sure about it. I feel like I should feel less sure about it. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's a personal preference.
Yeah,
thing,
I think it's a personal preference.
because outside of the top 4 players in the league, which are Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, and Steph, like the second tier group, you can take any of them and be okay. Like SGA, Tatum, Booker, Luka. Like, you could take any of those guys and still probably be about as good.
Now, would you feel more confident? I know we got to get to a break. The question is, would you feel more confident with KD and Tatum on a team? Because I think I would even say Bradley Beal and Jaylen Brown. I think it's probably a pretty even match. So if you put KD on the Celtics, right, instead of Drew Holiday or whoever, right, would you feel,
or instead of Jaylen Brown? That's if you trade Jaylen Brown for for Kevin Durant, how did the situations look different? I would probably rather have KD and Jason Tatum.
I would too.
I think the easier question is, if you put Tatum on this Suns team, does it look any different?
Instead of Devin Booker?
Yeah, instead of Devin Booker.
I think I would feel more confident if I were a Suns fan if I had Jason Tatum. But again, we're going to get into why that is, with Bradley Beal being injured, even though he's a shooting guard. Devin Booker is having to do the James Harden thing, where now all of a sudden he's a point guard.
Right.
So we'll talk about that when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win. Unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion, persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com. Christmas is in the air at Hanley's Kia. The season of giving back is bringing you an unbeatable deal on all 2024 Kia models. Drive home in style without breaking the bank. Introducing Hanley's Kia incredible leasing option for just $199 a month. Picture yourself behind the wheel of a brand new 2024 Kia, loaded with the latest features and cutting-edge technology. Whether it's the sleek Niro Hybrid with 54 mpg, an EV6 with up to 310 miles, the versatile Sportage, or the family-friendly Telluride. At Hanley's Kia, you can also reserve your luxurious full-size EV9 with 3 rows that has the comfort of a stylish interior and the peace of mind that comes with driving a brand you can trust. Head over to Hanley's Kia, the season of giving back today, located in Davis.
New 2024 Kia Niro Hybrid EX for $199 per month for 36 months after $7,999 customer cash due at signing plus $300 military customer rebate. 10,000 miles per year and 20 cents per mile after 30,000 miles based on sale price $30,545 and payment excludes taxes and DMV fees and any dealer fees. Vehicle ID number R5136138.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
This segment is brought to you by the Light the World Giving Machine.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will be joined by Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports at 1 p.m. talking all Bird Talk. We got Bird Talk coming at 1 p.m. as we break down the Niners and the Seahawks. Niners, hopefully it's not a letdown game after that emotional victory over the other Birds, the Eagles. And the Eagles, you had A.J. Brown saying they didn't play as hard as they had been. I don't really know what to do with that. Yeah, it probably is. But, they're in the middle of a gauntlet, and honestly, they have to turn the page.
Yes.
Because as much as we're talking about a letdown game for the Niners, we at least know that the Niners are better than the Seahawks. I think the Eagles are better than the Cowboys, but they're in the midst of a gauntlet, and they already beat the Cowboys barely. Yep. So the Cowboys will have some revenge on their mind when they face off against the Eagles. So they have to flip the page. And we are breaking down Kings Suns as well. We will get to the Kings portion and what the Kings have to do to take down the Suns as we profile the Suns and their big 3, more of like their big 2, because there's really not much to profile on Bradley Beal right now as we rank Devin Booker and where you have him. He's a guy who I would not call a household name yet.
I don't know, man. You're sleeping on the Kendall Jenner love affair that
Chris
definitely boosted Devin Booker's
Well,
profile.
he's gone. It's over now.
I know it's over, but now, I mean, Simone's always wearing that shirt of Kendall Jenner's lovers and
Kendall's starting 5.
Shirt,
it's a wild shirt, and Devin Booker's prominently featured. I'm just saying, he might be a little bit more known than what you might think.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, and maybe
I wouldn't say household. Like your mom and your grandma
would not know who Devin Booker is. Not yet. Now you win the
unless
whole
they're
thing.
like that little cute boy.
Oh
okay.
yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
But maybe. Not yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not yet.
So
Now,
what's your definition of household name?
I think I pretty clearly said it, right? And it doesn't have to be my mother in particular, but people that aren't into basketball.
Yeah. 8 out of 10 moms.
Yes. People that are loosely into basketball that has somebody in their family that's into basketball. So the name would come up, right? So maybe even in that way, maybe Devin Booker I've heard the name, right? Because I could even go with, I think, my wife has watched a lot of basketball based on my job. And I think she knows his face. But if I were to say, hey, pick Devin Booker, she might be able to do it, but her parents definitely would not know
for
who
sure
he is. But they would know who Kevin Durant is. And I don't even know if they would know. I mean, Jason Tatum, I think, is actually that same level. They both have been to the finals. They both were the main guy on that finals team.
Came
and they
within
both
2
lost
games
the
of winning.
finals.
Depends how much your family likes Ruffles.
Yeah, the Ruffles are out there. I think Jason Tatum is definitely in more commercials.
He's definitely in more commercials.
Because he got Subway too, I think.
He got Subway. Yeah, he's got a great Subway commercial too.
Mhm.
It's a really funny one. I wish I can't remember what he says, but it's like an awkward cringe humor one.
Yeah, something about rings or something. That was a couple years ago.
The I'm Jason Tatum. My sub has bacon. That one.
Yeah, I think that's all he says is, but mine has bacon.
Yeah,
and
and is it Steph? It says mine has.
It's Draymond.
Draymond says mine has rings or something.
Yeah,
It was after. It was after that finals. That was definitely what it was.
So that's the time, right? These are two guys that, to your point, Kyle, a bunch of guys are battling in that second tier to come out on top and really be that next face. And I think Jason Tatum's name gets brought up more.
Yeah,
and I think that's where the whole market gets brought up a lot because Jason Tatum plays for the Celtics and Devin Booker plays for the Suns. But I think that can all change if the Suns do get it done. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm worried about tomorrow night. I'm worried, especially if Keegan Murray doesn't play. He did not practice yesterday. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have an update before the game tomorrow night. Chris, I'm worried.
Worried about the result or worried about the team?
I am worried about the Kings coming out a bit flat, and not being able to overcome the firepower of the Suns.
Yeah,
and the Suns, they got. I know you said, and people on the Sac chat said, don't disrespect Nurkic. So, but I know you can continue to.
I definitely will.
But they do at least have size. They're not lacking. They have.
He is a figure. He's a tall figure. He's pretty soft.
They have all the requisite pieces and parts that could give the Kings trouble,
possibly,
especially with no Keegan Murray. I'm worried about if Keegan doesn't play. I'm worried about tomorrow night.
Yeah, if Keegan doesn't play, there's a chance that the Suns, and they've done it before against the Kings, just with Devin Booker, not even with KD, where they just can't slow him down. And Book does have I'm going to look at Devin Booker's career splits. He might be in that category of being a just absolute Kings killer. He's played them 4 times every single year for his entire, Kyle, you said 9 years. Devin Booker's been in the league. So
this is year 9.
Yeah, he's got 25 games against the Kings, which is second most against any opponent that he's played. Averages 26 points per game in 25 games total against the Sacramento Kings throughout his career. So yeah, I would say Devin Booker is absolutely a Kings killer consistently. So, that could be a problem if the faucet is running and the Kings can't turn it off. Devin Booker is a guy who the law of averages does not apply to him. He will go 14 of 15 on mid-range jump shots and it won't be an anomaly. Like that dude will just kill you all night long if you let him get to his spots. And KD's a similar thing. And I think as we've learned by the Kings having now 3 matchups against Brandon Ingram, who is the closest you can really get to a Kevin Durant body type, Kings got no answer for a guy like that. So that I share the same sentiment that I am concerned or worried that there is a universe or there is an outcome that I could foresee tomorrow where the Kings just can't stop the Suns because they have no answer to put on a guy like KD. And I know they like throwing Kessler Edwards and probably, if Chris Duarte can suit up, maybe Chris Duarte
get in there and foul him.
Yeah, Keon Ellis. Like they seriously might just, treat Devin Booker like he's Shaquille O'Neal or something and just say, I don't know. We're just going to use all of our fouls and make it as tough as possible.
If I see a trap tomorrow, I'm going to lose.
You probably will. I'd imagine they're going to try and get the ball. I would imagine it's only going to happen when KD's off the floor. And that's the moments where, you want to get the ball out of Devin Booker's hand, but this is where it comes into play that a guy like Eric Gordon is such a killer, because you can't let that, again, we talk about, the stars go crazy, but you can't have the supplementary guys, the others going off as well. If you're going to double,
Allen.
you got Grayson Allen as well, right? They have some guys who can make you pay. It's just, it's a pick your poison almost with the team like Phoenix. So I'm afraid that there is a scenario in which that game is just, the Suns can't help themselves but to score. But the Kings also have some things to say. I've thought about it a lot, and there is some positive in the fact that the Kings haven't played since Tuesday, and that's you kind of get a rare opportunity to almost get like an in-season training camp in. Very rarely do you have a spot where you can squeeze in 3 to 4 practices in the middle of the season and kind of really reassess things and maybe apply new things that you're seeing, some adjustments. So who knows? Maybe they talked a lot yesterday after practice about this kind of being a time to lock back in and refocus what your attention should be on. I don't know. Who knows? We might see a completely new style of Kings basketball, or an adjusted style on Friday that it really wouldn't surprise me, because I think what they've been doing clearly hasn't been the smoothest transition. And so it wouldn't surprise me if maybe they simplify things, or maybe they go back to a little bit more of the style that they played last year. I definitely know they're going to play better defense, because hearing the guys talk yesterday after practice, it was clear that Mike Brown was not happy with how this team defended the last 3 games. I think they said that they were 30th in defensive rating over the past 3-game stretch. So at the very least, I would expect the Kings to have a level of fire and focus defensively that should try and help the whole Suns being, no pun intended, just scorched earth on Friday.
Nicely done. Got to get to a break. When we get back, there was a player last night who fits the build for something the Sacramento Kings are missing. The problem is who he plays for. We'll get into it. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changers, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Give them a Stihl. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the Stihl Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $30 on the GTA 26 battery-powered garden pruner. Visit your local Stihl dealer or go to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. Now $149.99 was $179.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma, smart communications for the smarter business.
49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers walked into Philadelphia and took care of business last Sunday, stopping the Dirty Birds 42-19. Quarterback Brock Purdy had 314 yards passing, while Deebo Samuel contributed 138 total yards and 3 touchdowns. The Red and Gold are now one game out of the top spot in the NFC and will look to keep their winning streak going when they face Seattle at home in Week 14.
Celebrating over a century as a family-owned business, E.B. Stone has gathered invaluable insights into nurturing plant growth. Venture into indoor planting with E.B. Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil. Watch your little plants flourish into ideal indoor companions for the whole family to relish during the holidays. E.B. Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is a meticulously crafted blend of essential ingredients. Your plants will thrive, both indoors and outdoors. Trust E.B. Stone for the entire lifespan of your garden. Explore more gardening tips, products, and find nearby locations at ebstone.org. Wishing you a season filled with joy and flourishing green. Well, hello there. It's Santa Claus, and I'm checking my list to see who's been naughty or nice.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Santa. About that list, I've been a little bit naughty this year.
Oh, my. Naughty boys get a lump of coal in their stocking, you know.
Yeah, lump of coal. But guess what, Santa? Elk Grove Kia came to the rescue.
Elk Grove Kia? What do they have to do with your naughty deeds?
Well, Santa, they gave me a great deal on a new Kia, the highest-rated mass-market vehicle in J.D. Power's U.S. dependability study.
What?
No lump of coal for me this year, old man.
A Kia, you say?
Yeah,
Well, what about your challenged credit?
Well, Santa, unlike you, Elk Grove Kia doesn't judge guys like me. They looked beyond my troubled past and still sold me a fine new Kia. Look.
Well, I never...
Sorry, Santa, but Elk Grove Kia has your sled beat this year. So while you're busy with the lumps of coal, I'll be cruising in style in my new Kia.
Okay, I suppose Elk Grove Kia is on the nice list this year.
Naughty or nice, Elk Grove Kia believes everyone deserves a second chance. Elk Grove Kia, spreading joy, one car at a time, in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com. Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. We're talking Kings, we're talking Suns, but it is time to bust out the trade machine. And this is not your usual suspects. This is not OG Anunoby. This is not Pascal Siakam. This is not the usual suspects. This is something that popped up as I'm watching the Warrior game last night. And it's been, I'm sure you've seen, if you are in the NBA social media space, that Jonathan Kuminga did not play the first half for the Golden State Warriors. And as I'm watching the game, at one point, Steph Curry has to go over to Jonathan Kuminga and kind of just console him, right? You know, not that he was making a scene or anything, but kind of pass him on the back. Hey, hang with us. You can get your opportunity. At one point, Chris, I saw Jonathan Kuminga watching the kiss cam. He was watching the kiss cam during a timeout.
It's always the best. I do love it when players watch the in-game entertainment.
I do too.
They all look up on, like the coach is just furiously drawing up some play call, and there's like 4 or 5 guys just with their necks up.
And he's just saying, I mean, it's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So, long story short, Jonathan Kuminga gets in the second half, and he balls out.
Mm-hmm.
He had that Skywalker dunk, got some steals. He brought the Warriors back, and Steph Curry even said, hey, if it wasn't for Jonathan, JK, we wouldn't have won that basketball game. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you know, this is a guy who Steve Kerr, for how great Steve Kerr is, depends on, I know a lot of people think he's been given really good ingredients to cook with, right? But for how great Steve Kerr has been, he's really struggled with this youth movement, whether it's Moses Moody, whether it's Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman. Okay, it's a little bit different. Turns out James Wiseman is just not very good. But Jonathan Kuminga, I'm looking at every night.
People
it's something
complain about
different.
the pods too, about how he's playing pod right now.
Right. He said he's going to play every night. He said that and then proceeded to not play Brandon Pajemski the next 2 games or something like that. He's lost, right? And there is a group of Warrior fans that want Steve Kerr out, but that's a conversation for down the 80, right? Not here. But I do want to talk about Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time talking about the athleticism that is lacked on the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So I fired up the trade generator.
Of course you did.
Now, I did not get a successful trade because,
That's unfortunate.
right, there are a couple people. I had Alex Len in there because the Warriors are always trying to get bigger, and you cannot trade Alex Len until, I think, December 15th. So I got to refire it up when I get an opportunity. And I'm wondering, is there a trade that anybody, if you're into it, is there a trade? Because I know you have thoughts on Jonathan Kuminga, his career in general, whether he's a bust or not. It was a 7th pick. He's a lottery pick. But I do think that if the Warriors found something on the Kings or see something on the Kings that they think is missing, I have no clue what Jonathan Kuminga's value is at this point. I think the Warriors would want to get back. We talked about Lauri Markkanen during the Kings roundtable. The Warriors are also interested in him. I would assume Jonathan Kuminga's got to be gone. I don't think Jonathan Kuminga has done as much as Keegan Murray in the NBA, but I would say that value-wise, I don't think they're as far off as you think because of the same thing we talk about with Brock Purdy, just in terms of athleticism and ceiling. I think that you've still seen enough flashes from Jonathan Kuminga to where I think some scouts would even, I would say Keegan in practice and Jonathan Kuminga in theory. But my point is, would bringing Jonathan Kuminga, who's 22, 23 years old,
gotta be
something like that.
Probably not even that.
Would that intrigue you at all?
It would intrigue me. I would probably rather have Moses Moody if I'm the Kings. Like I think he kind of brings a little bit more of what I would be looking for. Like Kuminga to me is still a little bit too raw of a prospect. If I'm the Kings, like I think it's, as has been shown by Golden State, it's kind of tough to.
He's 21.
It's tough to develop a guy who doesn't really. I don't want to say have like. I mean, he's still just playing off of his athleticism. There's not really a lot of skill to work off with Kuminga, and so it just feels like a really big addition to just kind of throw onto this Kings team that already is having, some ups and downs when it comes to integrating, I think, all the new pieces and just the kind of the new style of play. To me, Moses Moody makes a little bit more sense, and I think from the Golden State perspective as well, they're probably still going to hold on to Kuminga as that draft asset. They don't want to just move on from him and move him to a team that also views him as a good asset in terms of a young player that they want to put with their more experienced core. To me, Kuminga is the guy that they make the Lauri Markkanen move for. Or if they're going to make a move, it's going to be Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, maybe Podziemski, and a first-round pick for player X. That's going to make the Warriors, title run extend a little further.
So really it's about the Kings don't have anyone that they would be willing to give up that the Warriors would want. Which is what I kind of thought. But I just saw his athleticism. And again, I did the Locked On Kings with Matt George yesterday. And just in terms of how it feels like, oh my goodness, wings are at a premium, right? Wings are at a premium. It's so hard to find them. When it feels like every other team has a couple just chilling on the bench that they can just release at any moment's notice, but the Kings don't have any.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's they definitely could use somebody of Jonathan Kuminga's stature for sure, and I think that's got to be the thing that they have to address if they're going to make a move. To me, they've got to bring in a forward. It's finding one of those guys out there. I mean, there's even in Chicago, they seem to be doing a fire sale over there. Like I would kick the tires on Patrick Williams, a guy who was the top 5 pick. And, at one point was really, people talked about him like his pro comparison was Kawhi Leonard.
I was big on Patrick Williams.
Definitely has not panned out to be that way.
Not
but
so much.
If you can be a guy who brings he doesn't even have to score on the offensive end for the Kings. Like anything he would bring on the offensive end, I think would be the cherry on top. But like that's a guy that I would look at. A Herb Jones, absolutely. I mean, I don't think the Pelicans are looking to move on.
No, I'm saying, but that's the prototype.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the player model that you're looking for. And it doesn't have to be an OG and a newbie. You can go out there and get the Dorian Finney-Smiths of the world, the Royce O'Neals, whoever is your preferred flavor. But to me, the Kings have to get a guy like that, whether it be OG or somebody who's just wasting away on the bench like a Kuminga.
916-339-1140. Let's get out to Tin, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Tin? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Hi, Stiles. Hi, Watkins. Thanks, Ledbetter, for putting me on. Hey, so it's funny that you guys are previewing the Suns and the Kings. I just spoke with a Suns fan last night, and he mentioned that Bradley Beal is hurt. I don't know. I don't follow any other team other than the King, but I kind of joked with him. I was like, maybe Beal, because Beal's a girthy guy. He could beef up Devin Booker, but Devin Booker, man, he's a scorer either way. He's always a threat, and should be a good matchup. It's always good, especially Devin Booker's in Golden One, man. He always seems to light them up.
He sure does.
Yeah, go Kings. That's it.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for the call, Tin. Yeah, so Bradley Beal has been out for most of the season, it feels like.
Yeah, he's only played 3 games this season so far, 89 total minutes. It's been a really, really rough go for Bradley Beal's first season as a Sun.
How many games did he play for the Wizards last season?
Last year, he played 50. The season before that, he played 40. The season before that, he played 60. Mind you, that was the COVID-shortened season. The season before that, he played 57. He hasn't played 82 games since 2018. He had back-to-back 82-game seasons in 17-18 and then in 18-19, and then since then hasn't played more than 60 games.
I understand if you're the Suns, very similar to other teams, hey, just be healthy for the playoffs and we'll rock and roll. But Bradley Beal is making upwards of $40 million. That's the problem.
$46 million.
That's the problem. That's closer to $50 million than 40.
Yeah, the amount with the new CBA as well, the amount of luxury tax and just taxes in general that this new owner, Matt Ishbia, is paying for this team by bringing in Bradley Beal is insane. The amount of money that he's paying for this team is, you guys better win the NBA Finals, or else I'm just throwing my money into.
They only got a couple years at this.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really this Bradley Beal contract, which is 4 more years and going to get up to as high as $57 million in 2026. But that's they're paying for championships. They're not paying for in-season tournaments. They're not paying for a fun story of seasons. They're paying to win it all, and doesn't look like right now they're on pace to do that.
4 more years.
4 more years. 2023, he's making 46. Next season, he's making 50. The season after that, 53. And then he has a player option, which, whoa, breaking news. Just got a text from Woj. Bradley Beal has opted into his 2026.
Wait, right now?
No, he didn't. I'm joking. $57 million in 2026-27.
Wow.
He's going to opt into that. So, 4 more seasons.
And he's 30 years old right now.
Yes. And again, hasn't played over 60 games in 4 years.
Yeah, and as far as his body type, he's 6'4", and to me, he's not scrawny, but I don't see a lot of meat on those bones compared to some of the other, right? The different.
He's a point guard size in today's NBA.
A very different 6'4" is somebody else on the Suns, Josh Okogie.
Right.
That's a much different looking 6'4" than Bradley Beal. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, are we overvaluing Keegan Murray? I don't know if Chris is, but maybe I am. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Get
year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
This holiday season, Good Guys Heating and Cooling is turning up the warmth and spreading joy with our Toys for Tune-Ups promotion. Schedule your tune-up or troubleshooting appointment, and with a donation of a new unwrapped toy at the time of your service, we'll waive the fee. It's our way of giving back and making a difference in the lives of local children who might not have the Christmas that every child deserves. All toys will benefit Children's Hope, a wonderful local foster charity right here in Sacramento. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling at 530-GOOD-AIR to schedule your appointment, or book online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Happy holidays from the Good Guys family. License number 1057-618.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com. At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will be joined by Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports, at 1 p.m. That is in 1 hour. We will be giving Brandon some tough questions about the Seahawks. They wrote me off. I didn't write back, though. That's Geno Smith. Is Brandon writing Geno Smith off at this point? That will be our question for Brandon, as well as his perspective on Brock Purdy and much other good topics to go over as we continue to talk Kings, continue to talk Suns, And, we were pretty tough, as a lot of people have been, on Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we shouldn't be, but I'm saying we love to do blame pie, and Harrison can't take all the pie, right? Keegan Murray, whether it be fair or not, has a lot on his broad shoulders.
For sure.
What's up, Vancouver?
What's up, Vancouver, right? What is up, Keegan Murray? And what is up with Keegan Murray? You have Keegan Murray, who has battled with some injuries, started off with, I don't want to say he was been in a slump, but it kind of seemed like it. Gets rolling a little bit, then gets injured. He has not really looked like that guy this season, and I would say at the very least, he has not progressed. Now, we can file this under sophomore slump, and that's fine. The problem is the Kings aren't where they were last season without Keegan Murray.
Right.
So if you don't at least have last season's Keegan Murray, I don't know what happens with the Suns this season. Is it fair to put this much on a second-year player simply because of how he performed in the first year? Or should we alter our expectations? Because if you alter your expectations for Keegan Murray, you alter your expectations for this Kings team as a whole.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to pick from there. I would say that Keegan has disappointed. I think we can officially call it a slump at this point. I think that there are, again, excuses versus reasons. I think there's reasons for the slump. But that doesn't change the fact that Keegan Murray is still shooting under 40% from the field and just above 30% from three. That's disappointing. Like, when you think about what the Kings team was supposed to be this year, Keegan's definitely kind of slid under the radar in terms of criticism. When we talk about blame pie,
Herter got it.
It's HB's turn now. Even Sabonis got it for a week or two there. Keegan Murray's just been able to kind of fly under the radar, and I think it's because he's a really well-liked kid. He had a great rookie season that shouldn't have anything taken away from him. But again, when you factor in at the start of this year, what was the Kings' improvement going to be? It was all internal, and a lot of it was Keegan Murray turning into a different guy than the guy we saw last year. And for whatever reason, or whether or not he's on his way to becoming that guy or whatever, he hasn't been good enough to be where the Kings wanted to be at the start of the season. And it is, he plays a factor into that. The Kings were wanting him to be the reliable, consistent third option on this team, and he just hasn't. I mean, Kevin Herter, it feels like, has been the third guy more times than Keegan has. Malik absolutely has. He wasn't even in, like, he's been, like I said, I think Malik's almost been the second best player for the Kings, or second most impactful player for the Kings this season. Keegan's been 4, maybe 5, but he was supposed to be number 3, absolutely, maybe even some nights or more nights than not being the number 2 scoring option. And he has just not been that. So he definitely deserves some of the blame pie, if not a bigger chunk than what I think most people even want to give him, because it is fair to answer another one of your questions. I think it is fair to put a lot more expectation and a lot bigger workload on a guy after his rookie season. Your rookie year is a flash. So many things are happening. You're just trying to show that you belong in the league. Well, after you've shown, especially to the level of comfort that I think Keegan was at by the end of last year, well, now it's time to treat you like we treat everybody else. Well, now you're going to get a workload that's to the same of Harrison Barnes. We're not just going to ask Keegan, hey, Keegan, shoot, and then, we'll give you a little bit of slack on the defensive end. Keegan's getting no slack now. It's defend the best player, and you still better be the shooter you were last year, on top of putting the ball on the deck and bringing the ball down the floor and finishing at the rim. All of that needs to happen, because Keegan Murray, we need you to be a better player than the guy you were last year. The guy you were last year is a really good weapon. He's a good tool, but that's not what we need from you. And maybe this is the Kings getting the answer of, a lot of people wondered what Keegan Murray's ceiling would be.
Is he untouchable or not?
that's the question. I mean, even when he was drafted, there were questions of, okay, yeah, we know the guy he is right now. We get he's a good shooter, but what's the upside? Where's the upside there? And the Kings were convinced that there was more upside than what some people thought. Well, maybe, who knows? I think it's still being determined right here, right now. Maybe everybody was right. Maybe there isn't more to Keegan's game than just being a spot-up shooter. I don't know. I had questions about it. I think right now we're seeing that push and pull happen, but I think what's happening is Keegan Murray in real time right now is we're kind of getting and I don't think we're going to get the answer at the end of this year. I think he still gets another year to try and figure it out, but I think we're starting to see the answer right now to just how high Keegan Murray's ceiling could potentially be.
And that's
or low it could
right. Be. And that's why in the last segment, when we had a conversation about Jonathan Kuminga, I do think it's pretty interesting because I think if you were to ask 30 GMs, hey, if you're making a trade right now, who would you rather trade for, Keegan Murray or Jonathan Kuminga? Number one, it's only 2 years, but Jonathan Kuminga is only 21. Mm-hmm. Keegan Murray's 23. Now, Keegan has done more in the league. Keegan has been asked to do more as well. Right. I don't know. The problem with these teams that have won, like the Warriors, is, and they had the weird couple of years where they stunk, but then they were able to get these draft picks, even though they weren't really a bad team. So Jonathan Kuminga can't really get on the floor. But if you're the Pistons, right, and I'm always saying the Pistons, we'll give them a break at some point, but it ain't now. If you're the Pistons,
that seems to be the island of misfit toys.
Right.
No win December.
Yeah, right. No shave November, no win December. If you're the Pistons,
no Wimber,
no Wemby. If you're the Spurs, if you're the Pistons, if you're the Spurs, if you're the Blazers, it really depends on what you feel like you already have. Like the Blazers, I think, would take Keegan over Jonathan Kuminga. Blazers have plenty of athleticism, right? But I do think there are some teams that would take Kuminga over Keegan. And we do this thing when somebody is your guy, and you make a really good point when it's, we've been taking it easy on Keegan. He's young. Right. He's only 23. He's kind of got the baby face going. He's our guy. Hey, we know Keegan.
And no one ever likes to pick on the nice guy. It's the
Harrison Barnes thing. And he's even younger, right? It's only his second year in the league. But if you take the purple glasses off, what is Keegan's value compared to the other 23 and under players in the league? I don't know. I don't know if it's as high as when I've been spending this time in Sacramento. Keegan's our guy. And you'll see on TNT, the national, if Keegan can be the third option. I guess my point is that every team feels like they have a guy.
Of course.
Right? And Keegan is the Kings have multiple because they have De'Aaron, but Keegan is that young guy who's on the come up. Everybody feels like they have that guy or a guy, right? So when you go up against a team, it's my guy versus your guy. Right. But as far as the NBA world is concerned, I'm not sure. And we did this. It was a 25 and under.
25 under 25. And he was 24.
Right. He was barely in it. Yeah. And we sat there and thought, is that a smidge disrespectful?
Right.
You read off some of those other names and you think, I mean, Kuminga, I don't even think was on the list, right? So there's a lot of players on that list. Maybe it was correct. Right. Maybe he is that fringe guy, and this season we're going to see where he fits because there's a lot of young talent getting drafted every single season.
No, I mean, and that's where some of the people who are claiming just go out there and get OG Anunoby, Keegan's not untouchable. That's where they have a little bit of an argument because if you're Monty McNair, the last thing you want to do is be like the guy that we're complaining about, Masai Ujiri, and overvalue your assets. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, the Kings do have a lot of faith in Keegan Murray, and I think that's fine, and you should have faith in your draft picks. But the problem is if you put all of your stock into Keegan Murray being a guy who is only going to raise his value, and actually it turns out his value is never as high as what it is right here, right now, well, then you poorly manage that asset. And again, if you're thinking about, I heard Jason with Sam Amick on this morning, ask him what is the Kings' best asset besides De'Aaron and Sabonis. It's all kind of level at that point. If Keegan isn't anything, special or he's probably still the Kings' best asset. But if he's not that third guy, if he's just a good fringe role player, well, then you kind of don't have anybody else to throw into a trade and make that big swing, especially if you don't do it now. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Again, I don't think that Keegan has to figure it out this year. I think it's it's fair to give him a year of throwing him into the fire and letting him kind of feel what it feels like, and then seeing next year, okay, you had the year to kind of internalize it. Let's see what you did with that information. But after that, I mean, to me, it's the decision is made. Like, at that point, you know who Keegan Murray is. It's either you gave him too much and he wasn't able to take that next level, or he just is the guy that he was his first season, which is a useful player, but it's not a guy who's, worthy of being traded for a third star.
No, if he is not, if he at best is a shooter that can defend, and now we're having the Klay Thompson conversation similar to Klay, and it wouldn't have even been at the clip that Klay was prior to injury. He's just another guy. What do they call him? A jag, right? He's just a guy, which is fine. But the problem is, and this is what just happens throughout sports, if Keegan is balling, right? If he's balling, then nobody wants to move him when its value is actually higher.
Right.
If he's not balling, right, you won't have a problem getting through this season if he's not balling.
Exactly.
Because nobody's going to want him, right? Because nobody's going to want him. So I think that is the tough part about this. What's crazy about this, Chris, as I look at these splits, and obviously he started 78 games last season. He's at 15 now. You look at some of these splits, he averaged 12.2 points last season, and this season he's averaging 12.9.
Right.
So he's actually averaging more points, but doesn't feel like it.
Right.
And as we go back to what we always say, exceeding low expectations is harder than meeting higher expectations. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to break down Kings and Suns, and how does De'Aaron Fox's Supermax, how does he match up with other guys that will also be eligible? We already talked about one player, and another player might also be on the Kings by the end of the season. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Your Thursday forecast, we're looking at another wave of rain moving through the area. A few showers pass by. It's going to be cooler today with highs in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking Keegan Murray, it's not surprisingly a hot topic.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have things to say. We see on the Sac Chat, maybe this is premature. Well, this is how you got into the playoffs last season, right? And I do think it is eye-opening to see that he actually is averaging technically 0.7 more points than last season, because it does not feel like
three more shots. I think that's why it doesn't feel like it. Is because
does not feel like
he's
that.
Taking a lot more attempts to get to the similar result.
That's fair.
Even then, there's supposed to be improvement. Like it's we don't want you to be the same guy you were last year. You're supposed to be better and better and better. And yes, Keegan is absolutely doing things last year that he just wasn't asked to do last year. And yes, he's improving leaps and bounds in those categories. And that is still being taken into account 1000%. But if you can't do all of those things and still be able to have your calling card, if you have to play defense at the expense of being an elite shooter, well, then it's not that's not a good trade-off. That tells me that you're clearly being asked to do too much, and maybe you're just not the kind of player that can hold that kind of workload, which is fine. Most players can't. We don't ask Kevin Huerter to carry that kind of load, but the problem is it devalues, or it takes away what you can potentially give to the team, and it makes you a little bit more, I don't want to say replaceable, but it turns you into just a jag. It turns you into just another guy. You might be better than some of those other guys. You might be a better shooter, but by all intents and purposes, if you're not a De'Aaron Fox or if you're not impacting the game at a certain level, at some point you can find somebody else in the league who gives what you're giving. And I think the thing is, the Kings were hoping Keegan Murray would be a special player, not a guy that is replaceable by any sense. They were hoping that, and that hope still remains, and he still definitely can become it, but they're hoping that they see a guy who's shooting like Klay Thompson, but is 3 inches taller than Klay. And that's not something you just see walking around the NBA every single year. So yeah, if Keegan can be a good shooter, that's great. But if he can be a guy who shoots at a ridiculously high level and defends at a high level, well, that's something special.
Yeah. By the way, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140 from the 209. I think with Keegan Murray, obviously we've already factored in his back injury. But what I haven't heard factored in last year, the league had no film on him. New player, teams didn't necessarily know how to prepare for him. Now teams know what Keegan is on offense and how to better defend him. Similar to Tyreek Evans' rookie of the year season and then the second year drop off. Yeah, you're right, 209. That's just what we call this. That's all part of the sophomore slump.
Right.
Right. You're not sneaking up on anybody, and he's not sneaking up on anybody. Right. And that goes into the same expectation conversations. Keegan Murray. But to be completely honest, I'll be honest with you. What is Keegan Murray's scouting report? He's a shooter.
Yeah.
Right. So
shooter.
He's a spot. So is he getting less? We'd have to go deep dive into the advanced analytics. Is he getting less open shots? Because from what I've seen, he's not really getting less open shots.
Yeah,
he's not taking more.
Looks, yeah.
He's definitely not taking more contested looks.
Right. He looks, to me, he's just missing shots. And I attribute it to he's being asked to do more. And that takes a different level of conditioning. Like, it's tough to run around on defense and then run around screens, get the ball, and without thinking, chuck it up and still have that same sense of rhythm and flow that you've had in the past when you haven't been asked to have that much of a workload. So, yeah, I mean, I just think he hasn't been the same guy that he was, or at least, reliability wise, he hasn't been offensively the kind of guy that you relied on as much as last year. And again, it's awesome that Keegan has taken the leaps defensively. The Kings need that almost as much as they need his shooting, because if he can be a point of attack defender, that makes the Kings a lot better of a playoff team. If they have a guy that they can throw at some of the best players in the NBA and feel good about it, that's awesome. But again, Keegan's got to make his shots, because at the end of the day, that's what makes Keegan freaking Murray, is the fact that he knocks down, threes at a 40% clip, and he's also 6'8", 6'9". So if he's not doing that, then he's not being Keegan Murray. And I think that's the problem, is have we lost a little bit of what made Keegan so great last year in trying to ask him to do more, which again, I think you should ask him to do more. It's just he hasn't really taken that new added responsibility and thrived with it.
And again, we can sit here and say, oh, well, he's figuring it out. We don't have to make judgments on him now. You don't have to. Yeah. The Kings just probably will be what that caller said yesterday, and the Kings will be a 6 seed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they are right now. You are not going to be a 3 seed if Keegan regresses, because it's a better Keegan that you had last season. Even though Chris makes a good point, even though the points might be up barely, he's taking more shots. They're asking him to do more. So, it's you can look at this a couple different ways, right? And the way I want to look at this is from a contest point of view at Hard Rock Live.
Come on.
And Skid Row will be performing December 16th. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Skid Row at Hard Rock Live December 16th. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Skid Row, and we are going to go with where the Kings currently are in the Western Conference. We're going to go with caller number 6, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140 for your chance to win tickets to Skid Row December 16th. Kyle will take care of you as we break down the curious case of Keegan Murray. Or I don't even know if it's really that curious.
Yeah.
Sophomore slumps happen all the time.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I don't think either of us are saying like Keegan's a bust or Keegan's not going to make it or clearly he is just a guy. We're just saying when you look at we like to do the blame pie. I think that's how we started off the segment. Like we're just saying a lot has been talked about Harrison Barnes. He's the hot button topic right now. Again, a lot was made of Kevin Huerter's struggles. Not a lot of people are bringing up the fact that, again, the Kings were planning on Keegan being that internal improvement was the hot word that was the buzzword from this offseason is the Kings didn't go out there and go sign the Jeremy Grants. They didn't go out there and throw the money on Kyle Kuzma because they believed really strongly in the internal development of this team taking the leap. Of course, we're only a fifth of the way, a quarter of a way through the season. There's still a lot of season left for Keegan to improve, but it's on the offensive end. But it's just, if we're looking at reasons why the team hasn't taken a leap this year or been significantly better, it's because Keegan has not been significantly better, which was, again, really what the organization was banking on for their development of this year. Again, not saying they're a bad team, not saying it was a bad risk, not saying it was the wrong decision. It's just the reason why they have not taken the leap is because Keegan as well hasn't quite taken a leap yet.
And you have to have conversations now. Hopefully this is it. Yeah. I don't like hearing anything about hips, knees, or backs. Right? So hopefully Keegan can get over this hump and get back on track. I do think it's interesting as we get to a break when you compare somebody like a Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga, where you're not being you want to be asked more, right? You wish you had more of a role. What do you think guys prefer? What do you think players prefer? Having the world asked of you, or I wish I had more attempts? Because I would imagine somebody like a Moody or Kuminga would love Keegan's spot, but when you are in Keegan's spot, it's a lot.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot. Yeah. We got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to break down the Kings and the Suns, and Mike Brown calls out the team. Was it warranted? We'll talk about it. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon. It's your last chance to trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and iPad and Apple Watch SE all on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. iPhone requires Unlimited Ultimate plan first. Service plan required for iPad and Apple Watch. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line required first. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit. Up to $459.99 device payment purchase with new line on eligible plan required per Apple Watch or iPad. Less up to $459.99 promo credit per device applied. 0% APR. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Pro Paint Days are back for MVP's Pro Rewards members at Lowe's. Now through December 15th, you can earn 10% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Plus, save $10 on a new and exclusive 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Drywall, PVA, Primer, and Sealer. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid 12/4 through 12/15. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty terms. Subject to change.
a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic #2 combo meal spreads cheer with a parm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Don't you just love this time of year and the holidays when families get together to make memories? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters. Those are memories that will live with me forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now gives you the opportunity to find the perfect holiday gift that will last a lifetime. You'll find unique gifts like gleaming accessories for every room, now 20% off. During Naturewood's Holiday Home Sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Amazon will be delivering packages to your house. Let Amazon deliver customers to your business. If that sounds good and you want more in 2024, simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, the bad boys of the midday, taking you up to 2 p.m. Chris is looking at me saying, stop.
Well, that's why I'm the bad boy of media. There you go. I was like, I've said it before. That's why I'm the bad boy of media.
Wait, who is that?
That's me.
That's Chris.
That's you?
That's me. That's why I'm the bad boy of media. That was like my second or third show.
Yeah, that does sound like you now.
Well, it was. That's why I'm the bad boy of media. Dang right.
I catch it at the end.
Actually a fact.
Come on.
Light the beam, light it. I know you got that one in the chamber too.
Light the beam! Light it!
So mad.
I know. And hopefully there is a Friday beam tomorrow night. And I know I don't sound too optimistic about it. The way the Kings handled the loss that they took to the Pelicans, what I saw from the Suns, who really didn't play that well and still were in the game because we have a Kevin Durant and you don't, and we have a Devin Booker and you don't. And Devin Booker has really been in more of that James Harden point guard role. and he's been doing a darn good job. I don't think that you can expect another 21 points from Grayson Allen, but you better not play like you don't expect that. You better take him out early and make sure that nothing, that he isn't able to get going and just is able to pile on. Before we get to this Mike Brown sound calling out the team, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Mark in Elk Grove who wants to talk Keegan Murray. What's up, Mark? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon. What you got for us?
And a very happy holidays to you and yours.
Hey, you as well.
Hey, listen, I joined the conversation late, so I apologize if I misspeak. Keegan Murray, would you agree that his rookie year last year, he exceeded every expectation they had of him? Would you agree with that point?
I would.
Sure. Yes.
I would.
Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about a guy that just was virgined into the NBA 1 year ago. He's getting into his second year. I heard you guys talk about the sophomore slump. Now, can we honestly really expect the guy in his second year to be the guy that defends their best offensive player and still be expected to hit 8 or 9 or 10 shots a game? Klay Thompson has been in the league forever. He's had to guard every team's best offensive player, and he's still expected to hit buckets. We can't put that kind of pressure on a.
Oh, did we lose Mark? I think.
But again, we can't get crazy on this kid. I mean, the second year, for crying many sakes.
Yeah, I hear you, Mark, and it's a great call. Shout out Elk Grove. Here's the problem, though. This isn't Chris Watkins asking Keegan Murray to do this and having these expectations. This isn't Alan Stiles asking Keegan Murray to do this and have these expectations. This is the Kings.
Yeah.
The Kings are asking him. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. If the Kings had said, hey, Keegan, just keep doing what you're doing last season, right, they're the ones matching him up against their best player. And in that offense, now Mike Brown has said he expected, hey, the legs might be a little bit different. We understand that. But if that were the case, I guess the point is we can understand that. So maybe Mark's point is, well, then it has to come from somewhere else, and you're just going to sacrifice Keegan Murray's offense all season. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if that's what the Kings had hoped for.
No, it's not. No, they were hoping that he would be able to do both. And again, I don't think that they expected him to be from game one, be this two-way star after the season. Of course, they knew it was gonna take some time and there was gonna be some roadblocks. And again, we're not saying cut Keegan Murray. We're not saying trade Keegan Murray. We're just saying that right here, right now is him developing in real time. And sometimes development is not a straight up and down path. Like, it's not always a straight up path, which you could throw back in my face. Absolutely. And say that this is just a down portion of his path to maybe ultimately figuring this out. But I'm just saying right now, the development of Keegan Murray is in the balance. It's not a clear way or direction which way this thing's going to go. He might not be able to handle this much pressure. I shouldn't say pressure, this much responsibility offensively and defensively. That's fine. But again, the Kings took Keegan Murray 4th in the draft. There's a certain level of expectation that comes with being the 4th pick in the draft. You can't just be a shooter if you're the 4th pick. That's not what the Kings did. That's why the Kings took Keegan Murray and were screaming from the high tops for anyone who could hear it. We don't think this kid has a low ceiling. We think that there's something else there that nobody else sees. People see Keegan and say, he's a good shooter. He's a good spot up shooter, but I don't see much of anything else. And the Kings said they see more in him than that. And that's what they're trying to show. All I'm saying is, and whatever is, I wonder if maybe people might have, the general consensus might have been more correct than what the Kings might have thought Keegan Murray. And I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying definitive. I just think that what we're seeing, the Keegan Murray we're seeing right here, right now, I think is the concern that a lot of teams had. And again, we don't know which way he's going to fall on the side of he might figure this thing out, or this might just be the norm for Keegan if he's going to play this much defense. It's just we don't know here and now, but I'm just letting you know that it's it's in the bout. Like him shooting 39% and just over 30%, that's like real. We have not lost the kid, but the guy that he was last year is not even a framing of what he is this year on the offensive end. The defensive end he's a completely different guy.
Right.
But the Kings also need Keegan Murray's offense as well. And when you're the 4th pick in the draft, sometimes you're going to have a lot of weight and expectations on your shoulders. And I think we're just finding out right now how much weight Keegan can have. And I don't think it needs to be decided by this season or through 20 games through the season. It's still a work in progress. I just think right now, if we're trying to figure out 20 games through the season, if we're doing a quarter of the season report card here, the reason why the Kings are at a similar record that they were last year is because Keegan Murray hasn't taken a leap yet. And so the Kings have not taken a leap yet. They are still in the range of teams that they were last year, which is fine. But the Kings were planning to get better this year.
Right. All we can do is talk about what we've seen so far.
Yes.
We don't have a crystal ball.
Absolutely.
We can't tell the future. And here's the thing, whether you're on the Sack Chat, whether you're on the text line, whether you've called in or whether you're just intently listening as we take you up to 2 p.m., we have not used the F word. And I think that you could use the F word. I don't like using the F word because I don't think very many people care, as Kyle and Chris worry about what F word that is. And that word is fair.
Oh,
is it
I
fair?
Flop. Okay.
No. Is it fair to ask this of Keegan Murray?
Sure.
I don't know, but that's what the Kings are asking of him this year. Sometimes you get to go in the pool into the shallow end, right? That would be a Jonathan Kuminga. That would be a Moses Moody. And you want to get into the deep end, but they won't let you. You have a situation here where Keegan Murray is being thrown into the deep end, whether he likes it or not. There are worse things to happen. Keegan Murray could have stunk last season. And then you have a 4th pick. This is a good This is a good problem. This is a good problem.
Absolutely.
This is a good problem.
It's a great problem.
We don't know how good Keegan Murray is going to be. Ultimately, is putting all this on Keegan Murray as a second-year player, is it fair?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm not Mike Brown. I'm not Monty McNair. I'm not the one doing it. They are.
Yeah, and also this might not even be to that point. I'm not even saying this is Keegan's fault. I could argue that to what you just said, you could argue this is Mike Brown's fault. I don't know whose fault it is, and I don't even know if it's anything that it's not something that has someone at fault. There's no blame going around. It's I guess there is, as we say, blame pie, but it's not like this is someone has ruined something. But again, if we're saying maybe Keegan was given too much too soon, that could be a fair criticism of the job that Mike Brown has done developing this guy. Some people can't just be thrown in the deep end. Some people do kind of need some spoon feeding along the way, but whatever. Yeah. I
you know who, look, I'm looking right here. And again, this might have a negative tone, but the reality is without Keegan Murray, you're not breaking the 16-year drought last season.
Right.
So if he regresses, obviously the team is going to regress.
Right.
That's just the facts.
Unless they get that production from somewhere else, which, again, to the point, they are not. It's not like someone has stepped in to the Keegan Murray role. They're just not getting that extra bump of shooting. And I think that's what we've seen with the hot and cold nature of this team is there isn't – it's either everyone's going or no one's going. Not very often do you have, okay, we had 3 or 4 guys going today, but 1 or 2 didn't. And that's where that's where you're missing Keegan Murray's offense as well. And that's where, again, we have to question, since you're giving Keegan Murray so much of a workload on the defensive end, well, now it's starting to affect your offense. And it becomes the question of, which is the overall Kings question of, are you giving up what your true identity is, what you're truly good at, the thing that made you special? Are you giving up too much of that to try and recoup the defense which you desperately need?
And somehow that all comes back to Harrison Barnes.
I don't know how.
Because you can't have a dude out there doing cardio. All right. You can't have that. And real quick before we get to a break, look, as we take a more positive spin on this, the pick in 2022, the number 4 pick was Keegan Murray.
Yep.
The number 5 pick was Jaden Ivey, who cannot get off the bench for the lowly Pistons.
Yeah.
So this is not a negative conversation.
No.
This is about expectations and what the Kings specifically need from a guy who was that important to them during their run last season. Got to get to a break. And on the text line 916, how should we as fans react to De'Aaron Fox declining his max extension? That is from Kay and Folsom. Great question, 916. Great question, Kay. We will get to it when we get back. That and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's that time of year again. Sactown Sports is welcoming Santa back to town for the 40th annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 9th in downtown Sacramento. Grab the family and join us as we celebrate Santa's arrival with marching bands, superheroes, cheer squads, and more. Parade starts at 10 a.m. at 14th and N. We'll see you Saturday, December 9th in downtown for the Santa Parade with Western Health Advantage, Huff Home Services, and the California National Guard. Get more information at SactownSports.com.
Not to brag, but every year my friends and family say I give the best gifts. And that's because every year I shop at Kohl's. I found a beauty gift set from Sephora that my daughter will love. Got 20% off glassware, perfect for my sister who's hosting. And scored 60% off PJs my husband will live in all winter long. Then I saved 20% on some of my finds and earned Kohl's cash. So thank you, Kohl's, for always helping me win the holidays. Select styles, Sephora, coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply. Some exclusions apply. Offers end December 10th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day, available in both lab-grown and natural mined.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
Hey there, listen up, Sacramento. Ready to make this holiday season unforgettable? Well, we've got something that'll have you jingling all the way. Picture this, a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for only $279 per month plus tax with no money down. No, I did not stutter. No money down. That's right. Zip, zero, nada. Elk Grove Kia is spreading the joy this Christmas, and we're making it easier than ever for you to drive home in style. So why wait? I will say it again. Head on down to Elk Grove Kia and drive home your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS today with absolutely no money down. Elk Grove Kia is your go-to destination for top-notch quality and unbeatable service. Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or go to elkgrovekia.com. $279 plus tax, 0 custom cash and signing residual of $10,000 $250 base and 10 per year. $6 per mile over reserve security. $6 0 required $7
Elk Grove Kia.
Pat Green and Diamond Rio. Live in concert, Saturday, December 9th, 7 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. Country music icons, Pat Green and Diamond Rio. With special guest, Mark Wills. On sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Pat Green and Diamond Rio.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no accounts to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
As
as we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year. Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Sac Chat text line, not happy with your boys. Calling us too negative. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Keegan Murray hasn't seemed to take that next step. I'm sorry that the Kings are the ones asking that of him, so we can just break down what he's been doing based on what they are asking of him. If he was on another team and they weren't asking him to do as much, maybe it would be different. But the Kings have been very open about what they expect from him. But we can flip it a little bit more positive here because, you know, the Suns have not been world beaters, and I do think that even though I'm personally a bit worried about the Kings, just because being in that press room and that post-game presser and just seeing how the Kings really did want to win that game. I know they've had some time to wash it, some time to flush it, but that is why I was have been a bit worried about the Kings. But the Suns haven't been world beaters. They can't stay healthy. So really, and you have some news on one Keegan Murray that he did fully participate in today's practice.
Yes, this is from our very own Frankie Cardicelli. He puts out there that Keegan Murray, as you said, was a full participant in practice today, and his status for tomorrow's game is still unknown, but we will be given an update later this evening. But, of course, good sign that Keegan did participate fully through practice, though we did see, what was that, last week, or was it earlier this week, where Keegan practiced and then still didn't play. So, you know, a part of the practice is also seeing how he's going to feel later today, seeing how he feels later tomorrow, and then I think, you know, after tomorrow morning, we'll probably have a much better gauge on how Keegan's back is feeling. So definitely a positive sign there, especially when we talk about guys to put on possibly Devin Booker, but more likely Kevin Durant. Definitely Kings are wait, are we lying to ourselves? No, the Kings are going to need Keegan Murray tomorrow if they want to try and slow down KD.
Yeah, it's going to be a team effort. And look, I'm not being facetious or sarcastic at all. This is going to be this is going to be Harrison Barnes. This is going to be a Harrison Barnes situation, because you put Harrison Barnes on Zion. It's going to be a group project, but I think Harrison Barnes will be there the most. And I would also say this when we talk about Harrison Barnes, and this is, it might be a reach here, but this is what I like to do. And I know Harrison Barnes, you know, sometimes you don't think about Harrison Barnes as having that dog in him. We've seen him have that dog in him before, but let us not forget that Harrison Barnes in 2016, and when he was Brickmaster Flex, and it was just a rough go. It was just a rough go.
Just stray.
It was. And they got
was.
him out of town, and obviously it would have been an upgrade. I don't know if it would have been an upgrade if he made those shots and the Warriors won the whole thing, but he was upgraded for Kevin Durant.
Yes.
I know that was a long time ago, but if I were Harrison Barnes, I would have that chip on my shoulder for the rest of my career. I mean, you got ran out of a championship situation. You did get cashed out. Didn't he go to the Mavs after that? He got cashed out with the Mavs, and now he's here with the Kings. But that was the Warriors saying, we're crying in the car because Harrison Barnes isn't good enough. And we gotta get you in here, KD. We gotta get Harrison Barnes. That's how I would take it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we gotta do our dog segment tomorrow. But I look, that doesn't make Harrison Barnes be a better player or be a better. But if you're looking to have that chip on your shoulder, I would imagine that he would have something like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. If I were Harrison Barnes, I'm looking at KD always like that's like your new girlfriend's baby daddy or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that guy. I don't like him.
He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, seems like a great guy, but he's much taller than I am.
Yes,
okay,
that's right.
It makes me feel insecure.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got a better relationship with the person that I thought I had a good relationship with.
Everybody likes him.
Yeah, everybody always wonders, hey, nice to see you, HB, but where's Kevin?
Yeah, where's Kevin? Is Kevin coming?
Is Kevin coming?
Yeah.
Kevin's so great.
Right.
And like, if I'm HB, I'm always looking at KD in those matchups. And, of course, Harrison Barnes, I don't think is under the delusion that, hey, tonight's going to be the night that I show KD.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure the Warriors what they're missing.
I'll show him. I used to be the #1 college recruit. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Harrison definitely views himself in that light, but I'm sure maybe he's like, I got a little something for him in terms of physicality or, you're not just going to go and have a 35-point KD quintessential performance against me. So I think that stuff is real. I think Harrison downplayed the Draymond beef last year in the playoffs, but it's real. I think he definitely is fully aware of just that entire situation and how it went down. And I don't think he's over it. I don't think he necessarily really views a lot of it as Kevin Durant's fault, but
no, it's not consuming him.
It definitely is the embodiment of it for sure.
And look, to your point, Harrison Barnes is not going to sit there and think this is my night to show the Warriors they were wrong, because they weren't. But on this night, I got something for Kevin Durant, and you're not going to win the war. The war is over, but maybe you win this little battle where it's, hey,
even if it's just a moral battle.
Yeah, if you can keep KD to under 30 and the Kings win, I'm HB. I'm walking like the Black Falcon. I'm feeling like, hey,
y'all can't talk to me.
Y'all can't talk to me. I got something for you. So I would look, and this is maybe a little prequel to our dog segment tomorrow, because it will be, especially if Keegan is out. Hopefully he's not. But either way, we will see Harrison Barnes on Kevin Durant. And if you got that dog in him, he is the guy. You called him the fifth option, which is crazy in my mind when I heard it, but it is true. You're going to have some open threes, HB.
Yeah,
got that quick release. He does have a really beautiful jump shot.
Yeah.
So HB, when you get your opportunity, just say, hey, this is going to be a tiny victory for Harrison Barnes. I know you guys went with Kevin Durant, and that kind of shipped me out of the situation, but I got something for you. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we will be joined by the writer for Seattle Sports, Brandon Gustafson. We are talking Seattle Seahawks. We are talking Brock Purdy. We are talking San Francisco 49ers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard. At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
TruckSmart knows truck and SUV owners love gifts for their vehicles. Whether it's a work truck or a daily driver, TruckSmart can help you make them happy this holiday season. Truck steps, trailer hitches, toolboxes, suspension products, off-road gear, and more. TruckSmart stocks the right products that fit and last for years. Need help with an install? Trained techs are on hand to get it done right. For 35 years, TruckSmart has been the source for great products and service. Visit TruckSmart today in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart, your truck's gonna love them.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
This segment is brought to you by the Light the World Giving Machine. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter doing a great job for us behind the glass as we take you up to 2 p.m. Whitey Gleason just hopped in the studio. He can't help himself. We will have crosstalk. That will be at 1:45. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda Shop, as we are joined by our guy, Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports 710. Brandon, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us here in Sacramento.
Yeah, you bet. No, doing great. I mean, I'm a UW alum, so I'm still riding high from Washington, taking down Oregon on Friday. So I'm feeling great.
Well, I will tell you what, we have some questions for you about that before we get you out of here. But let's start with the Seahawks and Geno. They wrote me off. I didn't write back, though. What is the feeling in Seattle? I have some buddies that are fans of the Seahawks, and I told them when the Niners beat the Seahawks on Thanksgiving, maybe this is good for you guys, so there's not any thought of, hey, maybe we can continue to do this with Geno. What's the expectations for Geno and really the Seahawks at this point in the season, and I would say moving forward?
Right. So a lot of people look at Geno's deal and they see like, oh, well, they committed to this guy for 3 years. No, they didn't. It's effectively a 1 year, $25 million deal. They can get out of it relatively easy after this upcoming season. So, this was always kind of that second audition for Geno. He nailed the first one with flying colors. Nobody saw that coming. I don't think the Seahawks saw his last season coming either. But it's definitely an interesting thing because they made the trade for Leonard Williams and they gave up their second round pick. So if they are going to be a team that is in that quarterback conversation when it comes to the draft, the good thing for them is it looks like there's a number of guys that might end up slipping to the middle, bottom half of that first round. And it wouldn't surprise me if this is the year that we finally see them take the quarterback. I mean, Pete and John have been running this thing since 2010, and they've taken 2 quarterbacks. One of them was Russell Wilson, and the other guy, Alex Magoo, in the 7th round. So that's just nothing that they've ever really done. But I do think that ultimately might change this upcoming NFL draft, and Geno's play has just been kind of like the team, up and down, hot and cold, and kind of as Geno's gone, they've gone, but just really, really inconsistent this year, both sides.
Brandon, before I throw it to Chris over here, can I interest you in a Trey Lance possibly?
Hey, come on now. We're not getting that crazy. I think they'd rather see what the Lock Star has to do.
No, come on. I had to ask.
Brandon, you bring up the Seattle Seahawks drafting a quarterback potentially, and you also mentioned UW. I gotta ask. I mean, what are your thoughts on a potential Michael Penix connection to the Seahawks, and just kind of in general? I think I saw on your Twitter bio that you're a UW alum. What's your thoughts on Penix's draft stock? Where does he fit amongst the quarterbacks in this class? And I mean, at the end of the day, where do you expect him to go in the first round?
Right. He's someone who I think is probably going to be fighting for that 3rd, 4th QB spot in the draft. I think pretty comfortably people are all aboard the Caleb Williams train and Drake May is kind of QB2. But QB3 is up for grabs, and whether that's Michael Penix, whether that's Bo Nix, who I refer to as Check Down Charlie if you actually watch Oregon games, and then Jaden Daniels, who's probably going to end up taking home the Heisman this Saturday. Those 3 are kind of going to be fighting it out for that 3rd spot. But, I mean, Mike's just done an awesome job up here at UW. The one thing I would definitely point out is he's had elite pass protection, and if he's somebody that does slide into the back half of the first round, maybe that does help him. Maybe he does land in a spot that has a little bit better offensive line situation, because part of the reason that he came to UW and he's a 6th-year guy now is because he had 2 ACL tears. He had 2 season-ending shoulder injuries when he was at Indiana. He was basically broken when he came to Seattle to re-up with Kalen DeBoer. So I think at the end of the day, he's probably going to be picked somewhere in the 20s. He might slip into the early part of the 3rd round, kind of like where, Kaepernick and Dalton and Carr got drafted. But ultimately, he's going to go a lot higher than I think he would have if he would have entered last year's draft.
We're talking to Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports 710. And speaking of Check Down Charlie, Brandon, is that what they're calling Brock Purdy up there in Seattle, or is he getting the respect that he deserves like he does here in NorCal? What is the thought process, and what do people feel, or how do people feel about Brock Purdy as a quarterback and for his MVP candidacy?
Right. I think that, me personally, I think I would still lean Dak over Brock at this point for the MVP conversation, but Brock to me is probably 2nd or 3rd in the race. I mean, Brock's got a lot of respect. I think part of it is when you beat a team 3 times in a row, and obviously they beat the Hawks last year before he wound up starting, you're going to get a ton of respect, and the numbers speak for itself. it doesn't hurt to have the playmakers in the O-line and obviously the guy calling the shots like Shanahan does. But I think there is a lot of respect for Brock Purdy. I'm sure there's a lot of frustration too with Hawks fans where it's like, oh man, like how is this Mr. Irrelevant guy putting up the numbers he is and just kind of taking that thing to another level compared to what it had been a little bit over the last few years. But I don't think it's anything where you're looking at Brock Purdy as check down Charlie. The reason I bring that up with Bo Nix is because every Oregon highlight I saw was like he swings a pass to the flat and nobody's within 15 yards of the guy and he winds up scoring. And I'm just like, okay, really? Like Brock at least is doing some things. He's pushing the ball downfield. I mean, that last touchdown he had, I was in the press box for that last game on Thanksgiving. That touchdown he had right over Witherspoon's hands. Quandre was late. I mean, that's just a great throw. He's playing lights out, and I know there's a lot of respect from the Seahawks for what he's doing this year.
Brandon, before we ask you about how the Niners are going to match, or I guess I should say from your perspective, how the Seahawks are going to match up against the Niners, wanted to get your thoughts also on the Niners' big win last weekend against the Eagles. What's kind of your perspective of how the top of the NFC is kind of shaking out right now? The Niners do have a chance with that win. If the Eagles win or lose this Sunday to the Cowboys, the Niners are kind of in a really good position to take that number 1 seed in the NFC. How do you kind of view the win last week over Philadelphia, and how do you kind of view the top end landscape of the NFC?
Yeah, I mean, it was super, super impressive. They were kind of clicking on all cylinders. Debo was doing just ridiculous Debo things where it seems like nothing's happening and all of a sudden he's dancing in the end zone. It's like, okay, how'd that happen? But I mean, Brock Purdy, again, he was stellar. This 4-game win streak they're on, starting with Jacksonville, which is a really good team, and we'll see ultimately what happens with Trevor Lawrence. But I mean, Jacksonville entered that game against Cincy a hair away from securing the number 1 spot in the AFC for the time being, right? So that's kind of where it all started with San Francisco. So at least to me, it seems like they're kind of the cream of the crop right now. Beating up Philly in Philly is super, super impressive considering the kind of 2-year run that the Eagles have been on. I think that overall, when you're kind of looking at it, I think just based on 49ers are getting healthy, the offense is just clicking at a very different level. Obviously, the defense since the bye has just been stellar. I don't think they've given up 20 points at any point over these last 4 games. They're doing their thing, and they at least right now seem like the most complete team in football.
We're talking to Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports 710. And Brandon, looking here at the Niners schedule, you have 2 really emotional victories. You had avenging the Thanksgiving Seahawks eating the turkey legs. Then after that, which we had to see everywhere, then after that, they beat the Eagles. We know that was circled on their calendar for the whole season ever since the playoffs. Do you think the Seahawks could pull this off based on maybe the Niners having a letdown game just because this is maybe the first game where they don't have that emotional connection that they've had? Or do you think, unfortunately, because it is still the Seahawks and we know Niners and Niner fans can't stand the Seahawks the same way Seahawks and Seahawks fans can't stand the Niners, unfortunately, do you think the Niners will still take care of business?
Right. No, it's a good question. And the Seahawks have a lot of question marks going into this game still. Jordan Brooks, who obviously he had the pick 6 and kind of for a short time turned that game around a little bit on Thanksgiving, made it a little bit closer for Seattle. It's unclear whether or not he's going to play. It does look like Ken Walker, who missed that game, their top running back, is going to be back. But, I mean, it's just clear. You look at the 2 rosters and obviously the way that they've been clicking overall, that the Niners have the edge going into it, and obviously going down to Santa Clara does not help the Seahawks in this situation. But there's another thing that's kind of interesting to look at with this game. And the Hawks have never lost 4 games in a row under Pete Carroll. He's been there since 2010, and they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. They've lost 4 or 5, so I'm sure that's kind of in the back of their minds too. I mean, they're trending into uncharted territory for Pete up here during his time in Seattle. And I mean, drawing a 49ers team that again is playing as well as anybody in football and is coming off just 2 absolute thumpings of 2 teams that they despise. I mean, I don't think that's kind of the ideal landing spot for Pete and his guys right now.
Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully, I don't know, there might be a 3rd meetup just like there was last season. But if there is, we will definitely have to have you on again.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
That
Brandon.
was Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports 710. Got to get to a break. When we get back, the ringer, and you talk about disrespect.
Man.
I mean, Seattle seems to have more respect for Brock Purdy than the ringer. When we tell you who the ringer has in front of Brock Purdy in their QB power rankings, you will not believe this. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Well, hello there. It's Santa Claus, and I'm checking my list to see who's been naughty or nice.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Santa. About that list, I've been a little bit naughty this year.
Oh, my. Naughty boys get a lump of coal in their stocking, you know.
Yeah, lump of coal. But guess what, Santa? Elk Grove Kia came to the rescue.
Elk Grove Kia? What do they have to do with your naughty deeds?
Well, Santa, they gave me a great deal on a new Kia, the highest-rated mass-market vehicle in J.D. Power's U.S. dependability study.
What?
No lump of coal for me this year, old man.
A Kia, you say?
Yeah,
Well, what about your challenged credit?
Well, Santa, unlike you, Elk Grove Kia doesn't judge guys like me. They looked beyond my troubled past and still sold me a fine new Kia. Look.
Well, I never...
Sorry, Santa, but Elk Grove Kia has your sled beat this year. So while you're busy with the lumps of coal, I'll be cruising in style in my new Kia.
Okay, I suppose Elk Grove Kia is on the nice list this year.
Naughty or nice, Elk Grove Kia believes everyone deserves a second chance. Elk Grove Kia, spreading joy, one car at a time, in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Thank you again to Brandon Gustafson, writer for Seattle Sports 710, our brother station or sister station up there in Bonneville. Yes. So shout out to Brandon for coming through. Really just some great
nuggets there.
Answers. Yeah. Great perspective on what's going on.
Does that Pete Carroll stat make you a little nervous? That to me sounds
I think it's a good stat. But
that to me sounds like one of those that like a betting expert would throw at you, and you would heavily reconsider your heavy push for a Niners money line. Is like, just so you know, Pete Carroll's never lost 4 straight games, and he's at 3 right now. And like you laid, when you combine that with just like you laid out, the Niners kind of having a possible, lull, a little emotional low game after 2 really high charged environments. Like, it's kind of a natural letdown game when you think about it. It seems like one of those things where, maybe on Monday, hindsight being 2020 again, you're like, Pete Carroll does have it's like the Andy Reid always wins after a bye stat. It's one of those things where you could look back and say, maybe I shouldn't have bet against history.
Well, you have DK Metcalf who gave his flowers to Charvarius Ward, and he's had a rough go against Charvarius Ward. So the only way I see this happening is if somehow, some way, the Seahawks are able to. I mean, they play each other so often. You would think they would have a good game plan.
They should, right?
But it would have
even
to be.
The Rams gave the Niners a
even
good
the
test
Rams,
earlier
right? But it
this
did
year.
not look good on Thanksgiving.
No, it didn't.
The only way this happens is if it's Jackson Smith and Jigba going off, and maybe a little bit of Tyler Lockett, because the Niners are not going to allow DK Metcalf to go off. They're just not.
Right.
So I don't see the Niners giving up enough points for Seattle to hang around, because Seattle ain't stopping the Niners.
Right, and that's kind of where the problem really stopped. Like, that's where it starts, I guess, with Seattle, is the fact that, I do think from an offensive perspective, I feel like Seattle on their best day could go head to head and, be in a shootout with the Niners offense. I think DK, Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then Brandon says there that Kenneth Walker should be able to give it a go.
Play on Thanksgiving.
So they should be able to again, at their best day, put up 30-plus points. We saw them get into a shootout earlier this season with the Lions and come out
and
on
with
the
Cowboys.
And with the Cowboys
game,
as well. Right, exactly. So they're a team that if you let them get going, and we've said the Niners are a different team when they start to go down by double digits. Maybe if the Seahawks get up, first drive touchdown, get a stop, and maybe go up 10-0. That's like that to me is the only formula.
And that's
in which
where
it
the
ends up
Eagles
being.
messed up.
Exactly.
That's where the Eagles messed up. You can't
They settled for 3, right?
both times.
Yeah.
You cannot go down and get that close against that defense and not put the biscuit in the basket.
Yeah.
You should have tried to tush push from the 10-yard line or wherever the heck you were because you would have a better chance. You cannot leave that quarter with only 6 points and have the Niners thinking, all we got to do is score once and we can take this bad boy back and never give it back. And that's exactly what happened in the Niners-Eagles game. All right. So Steven Ruiz, writer for The Ringer.
We've talked about him before.
Apparently known Brock hater.
Yes.
Right?
Notorious Brock hater.
So he has his most recent, this is updated December 6th, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He has, they posted it today. He has his QB ranking.
Yes, as he does every week.
And I know you
Brock's
know.
been low on the list before.
Well, both of you know where Brock is located. But I
don't know where he is now. He was at 25 earlier this year.
Okay, well, let's
that's
do
when
it
we
like this
talked
then.
about it.
Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this if he was respected.
Right.
The
He was
question is
number 8.
how disrespected. So, Kyle, do you know? Did you look at this already?
I have seen it. Yes.
Okay, we'll just go with Chris.
Okay.
Chris, after what Brock did to the Eagles,
yes,
where do you think that Steven Ruiz has Brock Purdy?
Well, knowing that the benchmark at least a couple weeks or like a couple months ago, I feel like it was 2 or so months ago, Steven Ruiz really made headlines by having Brock at 25.
Mm-hmm.
And Mac Jones was 24.
Right. Right.
Where's he now?
I would hope 30,
I would hope not on there.
if not 32, if not 34.
Below Zappy.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, Mac and Cheese is ranked 24th.
How
is Mac Jones not moved?
He's been benched 4 times this year. That's not an exaggeration.
He's higher than Desmond Ritter.
Okay.
Okay, well, Desmond
And
Ritter
Mayo
is
Man.
awful. You know.
So,
and Dobbs. Dobbs is 27.
That's not disrespectful, honestly.
I will say Brock Purdy is 18 in his quarterback list.
Brock Purdy is ranked by Steven Ruiz of The Ringer. Brock Purdy is 20th. That's
absurd.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
I mean, that's not great. Of course, I can hear the Steven Ruiz answer already of, I'm taking out situation and I'm saying if you give him a league neutral offense, if you're playing Madden and you give him a bunch of 75s or 80s, what does it look like with each quarterback plopped into that situation? I can already hear him saying it.
So this is where it gets really bad. I'm going to read off the quarterbacks ahead of Brock Purdy.
Okay.
I'll go quickly for the ones that make sense.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, number 1.
Yes.
Josh Allen, number 2, which is a little surprising to me.
That's
whatever.
That's a different segment.
Sure. Justin Herbert, 3, again.
Yeah,
sure.
Surprising. Lamar Jackson, 4.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, 5.
Mhm.
Trevor Lawrence, 6. Matthew Stafford, 7.
Burrow?
Jalen Hurts, 8.
Right.
Kyler Murray, 9.
Burrow?
Geno Smith, 10.
What?
This is where it gets a little...
Geno Smith is a below average quarterback this year. What?
This is where it gets a little sticky for me. Number 11 is Tom Brady.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
And it says, keeping a place for him just in case.
In case what?
The breakdown quickly. He's not on an NFL team.
What is it? Week
He's not on an
13,
NFL
14?
team, but you can't tell me that Brady couldn't roll out of bed at 46 years old and lead a moderately talented team
No,
to
I
the
can tell you that.
playoffs.
I can definitely tell you that.
Here's the thing.
And if Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt at some point this season and the Raiders are anywhere close to a playoff spot, Brady is absolutely coming back.
Okay, so he hasn't updated this in a while.
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo's already been benched. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, maybe he left the breakdown, but this is recent. They tweeted it today.
Yeah.
They tweeted it this
He just
morning.
hasn't changed the description. I got it, yeah.
Right. He says just leaving a place, right?
This says
a little
updated
bit-
December 6th.
Yeah,
right at the
updated
top.
December 6th. So a little lazy.
I think
for
he wrote the
Steven, but-
description in September.
Exactly. Tua at 12. CJ Stroud 13. It's a little interesting to me. CJ Stroud
Very
at
interesting.
13. Jared Goff at 14. That
Okay,
feels right.
But also to Kyle's point, does Joe Burrow not exist in this universe?
Apparently not, but Tom Brady does. Jordan Love 15.
So
Russell Wilson 16. This is where it gets even funnier, possibly. Drake May, number 17.
You're joking.
North Carolina.
I
In the
mean,
swamp.
Jesus.
If you and in North Carolina. Chapel Hill. If you ask, this is what it says. If you ask AI to create a generational prospect in 2023.
Don't say.
So Drake May is at 17.
It would be Andrew Luck, but
for Steven Ruiz.
It might be Trevor Lawrence.
18 is young DC Derek Carr.
What?
At number 18.
What?
At 19.
No, okay, this is ridiculous.
At 19, Caleb Williams.
Okay.
USC.
Okay.
the player who might get picked over Drake May.
Bizarre. Just bizarre. And Brock Purdy at number 20 with a 78.5 QB grade. And again, yeah, to your point, Kyle, I don't know what to do with this breakdown. This is quickly the breakdown. Don't call Purdy a game manager. A system quarterback? Sure. But even that may misrepresent his game. Purdy provides a playmaking jolt to Kyle Shanahan's clever play designs, and in 2023, we've seen the 7th-round pick do a better job of balancing his improv act with a more scripted approach. In other words, he's doing more of the good stuff Jimmy G used to do in this offense while adding a little extra moxie.
And to this point of laughing at it, I don't think anyone's ever used the phrase playmaking jolt to describe Derek Carr, like ever.
I don't know how you could watch football all year long and come to the conclusion that if Derek Carr were in the Niners offense, it would look better or at the very least even the same. That's just insane. I don't know. Yeah, clearly Steven Ruiz has some beef with Brock Purdy. Maybe it's his little brother gave him noogies in elementary school or something.
And maybe he looks like him. You know what's funny, though? A lot of people said that Derek Carr being in front of Brock Purdy was more disrespectful than Caleb
I think
Williams
it is. No, I seriously 100%. Think it is.
No, come on.
No,
now.
it is. It definitely is.
Now that's messed up.
Bruh, come on. You're telling me that
alone.
next year, if Drake May isn't better than Derek Carr, that's a problem.
Derek Carr's not going to be a starting NFL quarterback pretty soon.
Already.
Come on now. That's it. This guy come on now.
The Saints
went to a playoff game.
The Saints can't win the NFC South.
He might go to another one this year. Yeah, Derek Carr might go to a playoff game this year.
That's right.
It doesn't mean he's a top 20 quarterback.
Come on.
Doesn't mean that they might bench him next year.
Come on now.
Outplay Desmond Ridder. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Derek Carr has played an NFL game. I'm just not on board.
Barely.
I'm just not on board with putting Caleb Williams and Drake May.
That works against some quarterbacks.
Come on now.
I mean, it's a ridiculous action. It is like really he's not trying to have Brock Purdy in his top 20. That's
right.
Like,
no, it's a stretch either way, but we just did this with Trey Lance. You cannot, and I get they've done them on a higher level. I don't know what we're doing with ACC
and the crazy
football,
thing is, too, with this list, it's not even like I realized he didn't have Joe Burrow in here because he has Jake Browning as the Bengals quarterback. So he's not even talking like of all of the quarterbacks that are out there. He's saying specifically he's the 20th best quarterback playing right now.
Right
guess,
now.
I guess it would be 18th if you take, or I guess 17th if you take out the 3 guys who aren't even in the NFL right now. But
which, like, in that sense, it's not crazy. Like, if Tua were on this 49ers team, you could have the conversation about what it would look like, but to just outright dismiss it is where it's kind of funny.
Are we breaking our rule? Is this full blown? When I see The Ringer, I think of a platform that is legit.
Yes.
Right. Are we breaking our rule? Is this clickbait?
That's when we talked about this previously, Whitey hypothesized that, yes, this is clickbait. I don't think it is. I think, to your point, like, to me, this is should be a very respected website, a very respected, credentialed media source. That's insane. Like, that should not be, that's like a Bleacher Report type thing where you're just trying to get I mean, yeah, it falls under the clickbait category by the content, but the sourcing of it shouldn't be a clickbait website. Like, I would not expect The Ringer to publish something.
But I guess
that
it's
is
just
so
his opinion.
egregious.
I guess this is a really prettied up way to say that's his opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, I think he would argue that he's an analyst and he believes that there is fact behind what he's saying. And I think that's where the problem lies, is this dude's at the very least, again, if we're talking about right here today in the NFL, he's playing like an MVP. He's playing like a top 10 quarterback, regardless of what you think of the outside view of what he is or whatever. For doing here and now rankings, it's just, it's you can't be taken seriously if you don't at least have him in the top 10.
You even top 15. I think that would be disrespectful, but
I
could hear an argument, right? But 20 with 3 dudes who aren't going to take a snap on tonight, Monday or Sunday, I can't do it. We're going to get Steve Ruiz on the show one of these days. We have to, and we're going to see if he's going to break character.
Northern California media like it's the play.
He's also like relatively famous in these NFL media circles.
Well, we're going to be relatively famous. I got an APB out for Steve Ruiz. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, good pizza or bad pizza? Everybody says football's like pizza. Patriots versus Steelers. That sounds like bad pizza to me. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday forecast, we're looking at another wave of rain moving through the area. A few showers pass by. It's going to be cooler today with highs in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day, available in both lab-grown and natural mined.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no accounts to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Did you know one of the worst things you can do is turn on your furnace after it's been sitting there all summer, gathering dust, without giving it a thorough tune-up first?
Think about it. What if your car had been sitting in the garage for 6 months without ever running?
Any piece of machinery that's been sitting needs to be tuned up. So call Bell Brothers. We'll tune up your furnace for just $87 and guarantee the results.
We guarantee that your tuned-up furnace will save you $87 on your energy bills. And we guarantee that your tuned-up furnace won't break down during the season, or we'll immediately refund your money. No questions asked.
Don't delay. Small problems that are easy and inexpensive to fix can quickly turn into big, expensive problems.
Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule your furnace tune-up at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Christmas is in the air at Hanley's Kia. The season of giving back is bringing you an unbeatable deal on all 2024 Kia models. Drive home in style without breaking the bank. Introducing Hanley's Kia incredible leasing option for just $199 a month. Picture yourself behind the wheel of a brand new 2024 Kia, loaded with the latest features and cutting-edge technology. Whether it's the sleek Niro Hybrid with 54 mpg, an EV6 with up to 310 miles, the versatile Sportage, or the family-friendly Telluride. At Hanley's Kia, you can also reserve your luxurious luxurious full-size EV9 with 3 rows that has the comfort of a stylish interior and the peace of mind that comes with driving a brand you can trust. Head over to Hanley's Kia, the season of giving back today, located in Davis.
New 2024 Kia Niro Hybrid EX for $199 per month for 36 months after $7,999 customer cash due at signing plus $300 military customer rebate. 10,000 miles per year and 20 cents per mile after 30,000 miles based on sale price $30,545 and payment excludes taxes and DMV fees and any dealer fees. Vehicle ID number R5136138.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will be joined by our guys, the Drive guys, but it will be Jerry Reynolds in for Kyle Draper. But we will have Whitey Gleason, who has already been in the studio because he can't help himself. He comes in, just so everybody knows, we're so open on this show.
Yes.
He comes in and says, so why do you guys hate Keegan Murray? And then just leaves.
Yep.
He just leaves. That's all he says. That is Whitey Gleason for you. And I'm sure he will have more of that, more of those jokes when we are joined for the crosstalk with the Drive guys. All right, Chris.
Okay.
There you go. Patriots at Steelers.
Oh, boy.
The sicko Super Bowl.
I thought we said that the game of the year was last Sunday.
Football is pizza, right?
Nope.
This good pizza. There's no such thing as bad pizza. There's no such thing as bad football, right?
This game is like
bad NFL.
You remember that viral pizza rat? The rat that was like dragging the pizza? Yeah, that's what this game is. If this has to be pizza, this is
a mutated rat that is put on your television.
It's just a pizza that was touched by a rat and delivered by a rat. So if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're really hungry, I guess.
You know what's crazy about this is that you mentioned earlier, it's the lowest. Televised? Well, sort of. It's on radio. You can listen right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Right.
But the over-under is 29.5, but the Steelers are still a touchdown favorite. So, like, how little of points do they think the Patriots are going to score in this game?
Oh, the Patriots just set a record last week for the only team to ever allow fewer than 30 points over a 3-game span and yet go 0 for 3.
It's just bad ball.
The first time since like 1938 that they held opponents to under 10 in 3 straight games and lost all 3. It's insane.
It's just bad ball. From the segment that we talked about prior to this one, the 916, and if you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. 916 says Ruiz, speaking about Steven Ruiz, who wrote that article and ranked those quarterbacks. Ruiz is writing QB rankings for The Onion, not The Ringer. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's a great one.
That's pretty good, 916. Yeah, and I think the NBA, as we talk about the NBA Cup, I know they didn't really have a choice, but this could have been a day where they win over. So you figure the first game is at 2 p.m. So what's the second game at 5?
6.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think that game, I know it doesn't happen often. Could this be we have to look at the rankings tomorrow, the ratings tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I know it's just the NBA Cup, I know it's just semifinals, and it is Zion, but I know it's the Pelicans
and LeBron.
If the ratings, if Steelers, Patriots beats LeBron and Zion, then that really shows. I know we say NFL is king,
right?
But this would be another level.
Yeah.
If they win tonight,
it might be Emperor.
It might be.
I don't know. I guess King is probably
over.
One,
Do you
right?
think that the NBA looked at the NFL schedule when they were deciding on this in-season tournament? They're like, "What's the game we could go head-to-head
Maybe
against?"
we could beat.
No. There's no.
Because the NFL schedule was out before the NBA schedule.
Why would the NFL be afraid of the NBA at any moment?
No, I'm saying the NBA.
No, the other way around.
Oh.
No, because the NFL schedule came out in May and the NBA came out in August. So the NBA is looking like if we're going to do an in-season tournament semi and it has to be on a Thursday, Patriots Steelers.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think that's a happy accident, as our guy Bob Ross would say.
Well, they darn sure weren't going to let it be last week.
I think it's a coincidence. I really do. I don't think that
Chris has never had the tinfoil hat on.
I don't.
Chris
really
never
don't.
has the tinfoil hat on, but that's why
I gotta see some evidence.
That's
Sorry,
why
I'm
me
a
and
bad
Kyle.
boy of media.
That's why he is the bad boy of media. And, we did want to chat about De'Aaron Fox and how he is eligible for the Supermax. He turned down the extension so he can be eligible for it. And, everything you need to be eligible, got to be all NBA.
Right.
We think he will be eligible for it. Here are some of the other players that will also be eligible for it next season.
Gotcha.
Jason Tatum.
He's getting it.
Bam Adebayo.
That's an interesting decision. Yeah, for sure.
Here's another sticky one. Jamal Murray.
Health. Yeah. Ugh. I mean, they got to do it. After winning the championship, you got to kind of keep your court. Bam Adebayo, to me, is the I wouldn't say most risky because Jamal with the injury worries, but Bam Adebayo is the one that I would probably have to think most about situation dependent because it feels like Miami, if you sign Bam to that kind of figure, I mean, the Supermax is kind of reserved for a very meant to be select few individuals. Now, Jaylen Brown getting that, I think, has kind of muddied those waters a bit, but it doesn't feel like as good as Bam is and as versatile as Bam is, I don't know if he's Supermax quality. That's a lot of money to be throwing to a guy who, is a really good role piece. He's probably as valuable as Sabonis for his roster. I don't think he's as good as a playmaker as Sabonis is, but he's a better defender. So you get that trade off. I don't know. Yeah, that's really interesting. I think Tatum's a lock.
If Bam signs the Supermax and he makes 35% of the salary cap, because that's the rule, that would mean next year him and Jimmy Butler make a combined 69.3% of the Miami Heat salary cap, which is a lot.
And we did those. We've had multiple duo conversations and rankings.
Right.
They're not in anybody's top 5 duos.
No.
And I don't even think top 7.
No, I don't think so. I don't even.
They're at the top of the top 10.
Considered, yeah.
Or the bottom of the top 10.
It pretty much depends how you feel about Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jimmy's doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that category, in that conversation.
You can't have that conversation. They're not in the same stratosphere.
No, that's
as
too
the
much.
Giannis and the Jason Tatum.
But playoff Jimmy, now that's another question.
Right. Jimmy's getting up there too, though. At this point,
Yeah,
he's got a lot of miles on that body.
He's been around.
Yeah,
he's been around. So who else is there? Brandon Ingram. I know Kings fans probably feel you probably should pay that man because he's cooking.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, but that's another one where injury, and then also how good is a team that's led by Brandon Ingram?
Well, we don't know.
I also don't think he's not going to make All NBA this year. I don't think.
No, probably not. I mean, depending on how well the Pelicans do, though. I mean, if the Pelicans are a top 3 seed, we saw the Kings get 2 All NBA guys. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing if the Pelicans, if the Pelicans are a top 3 or 4 seed in the Western Conference, you definitely have to imagine Zion's playing a pretty big role in that. I can imagine Brandon Ingram maybe sneaking into a third team.
And last but not least, this is something that you would have to keep in mind. If he does get moved, Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, I think that's tough. I can't imagine anyone's going to pay him that money. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't think a new team would be able to sign him to the Supermax. I believe.
Unless he made All NBA with that team.
Right. So he would have to get traded before the trade deadline and then make All NBA with that team in order to sign the Supermax. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's how it works because isn't that how Kawhi Leonard just got the Supermax with the Clippers?
Right, because it transfers over. I would think so. That sounds right to me. I don't believe it has to be the team that you played for signing the Supermax. I think, you just had to have played with them at some point to end the season. So, I mean, that's, I mean, it's a tough thing too, because with the Supermax, is there an obligation to pay a guy who is eligible for the Supermax? Are you obligated to pay that guy? And if you don't, is that disrespectful? So like Miami, they might say, look, Bam, we really like you. We really, really do. We want to keep you. You are definitely our future when it comes to our most valuable future assets. But do we want to pay you $61 million a year? that might be a different conversation. And yeah, is Bam offended by that? Does Bam feel like, oh, I gave you guys all this stuff? We went
then
to
he'd
NBA
have to go.
Final.
You'd have to go somewhere and not get paid that anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know.
And if you're Masai, as far as the Raptors are concerned, you probably figure that if we keep, it's a messed up situation, because if we keep Siakam, we know the Raptors aren't doing anything. He probably doesn't get all NBA, so he doesn't have to pay him.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect situation. He can just keep hoarding them, right? Masai Ujiri should be on hoarders. Yeah. That's what he's doing. If he gets through this trade period with both guys, he is an NBA hoarder. We need to call in somebody, the organizers, to help him. He needs a specialist because he is a hoarder. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, it is the crossover crosstalk with the Drive guys. Jerry Reynolds, our guy, in for Kyle Draper and Whitey Gleason. Of course, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Honda stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more feel-good words. Days is how long you have left to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic #2 combo meal spreads cheer with a farm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. One more segment with you. Thank you for rocking with us. If you've been rocking, and if you're just now joining us, thank you for joining us as we are joined by the Drive guys with Jerry Reynolds, our guy, hopping in for Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason. How are both of you doing?
I'm great, and I just got to say, Jerry just told me the story. Whereas we're waiting for you guys in the hallway, you know, there's a poster, Kings, history of the Kings. And there was one guy in there, I couldn't figure out who it was. And I was asking Jerry, and we think it's not a great Gary St. Jean. But anyway, there's an Ostertag on there, and Jerry says, oh, this guy. And I'm like, whoa. What did Ostertag used to do to you, Jer?
Oh, Ostertag, that big dick. I mean, he used to on the hotel at the hotels. He'd charge a room service to my room,
to your room,
to my room.
Yeah,
you know, he's making a couple of $1 million a year.
Yeah,
and there's a couple times where I could figure out who, and he thought it was funny. I said,
right,
it's hilarious. Let me tell you, it's hilarious.
What was he ordering?
And that's the least word I called him.
What was he ordering?
Well, more than I could afford.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Wow.
Was it Lawrence Funderburk? You said he used to go down.
Yeah, Lawrence Funderburk. Hey, boy, he's a good guy. You know, he's opposite Ostertag. but Lawrence Funderburk, he'd order room service and then go down to the kitchen to get it because he didn't want to pay the tip.
He said, "Just prepare it for me. I'll pick it up at the front desk."
Exactly. Well, no, he'd go down to the kitchen or wherever.
Kitchen itself, which is almost worse.
Oh, I know. No.
Just so he didn't have to tip.
He was like an economics major.
Yeah,
clearly.
And he's done, I know, extremely well since his. You know, he took care of his money. You know,
yeah.
You know, but I mean, he was really a bright guy. But it's like
that's genius. I mean, sure.
But Lawrence, you know, you can spare $10.
Okay. Yeah,
frugal for sure.
I'm just trying to check here as I see something coming in from Amid Rock on the Sac chat. That's what we've now named the YouTube chat for Sactown Sports, at least our show. You can call your chat whatever you'd like.
Okay,
and I'm trying to confirm, but it looks like there will be no Kevin Durant and no Grayson Allen tomorrow night. I'm trying to confirm, but I'm seeing a little bit of it on social media. So maybe Kyle can help out as well. But it looks like there will be no Kevin Durant or obviously no Bradley Beal or Grayson Allen tomorrow night.
Wow.
Interesting.
Do we know why? Just
still trying to find it, but that seems to be what is floating around. But I haven't seen it from a Woj or a Shams yet, but I'll keep digging.
Interesting.
Yeah. Dwayne Rankin at AZ Central did say Frank Vogel said Kevin Durant ankle, Bradley Beal back, and Grayson Allen groin will be out against the Kings.
Wow. Good news.
Yeah,
he is
Bradley Beal out.
Looks legit.
No, wait,
what?
Wow.
Newsflash.
Wow.
I wanted to see that matchup though. I'm happy for the Kings, and you know what? I'm actually going as a fan to the next game that they play the Suns when they play the Suns here December 22nd. So maybe I will see Kevin Durant during that game.
I love watching Kevin Durant. He's unbelievable.
He's been balling, and we saw him. And to go back to how important it seems that people, or how serious people were taking this in-season tournament, Kevin Durant definitely rolled that ankle during that game, and he stayed in the same way Keegan Murray stayed in when he tweaked his back. So these guys really wanted it, but I'm not really surprised because Kevin Durant was definitely laboring during that game, but he stayed in. I think they really wanted that W, which is now interesting because if they did win, would Kevin Durant have played tonight?
Yeah,
I would imagine so. I mean, it's interesting. Where do you guys fall on Kevin Durant? We talked earlier in today's show about his legacy. Like, does it feel like this has almost been the worst outcome for Kevin Durant's career so far? I mean, with only having the Warriors championships and not really being able to kind of get over, I guess it could just be a narrative thing, but it feels like a guy who's top 15 all time or top 20 all time should probably have a little bit more to hang on his shoulders than what he does.
I think it's a great point. I mean, you know, to me, I would have had him a few years ago when he was still with the Warriors or just left, top 10 for sure. But I think it's a little hard there's just so many guys.
Right.
And so unless he can still rejuvenate it,
of course,
get a championship or something with the Suns, and that certainly make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's, with just the limited play and they haven't quite, reached any moved around so much that hurts.
Yeah. To me, he's somehow underrated. I mean, he was easily the best player on one of the greatest teams we've ever seen, those Warrior teams.
Yeah.
And I understand that he's only won 2 and he's been injured a lot. And I understand all that, but man, when he was on, and he was on for a long time, he was really one of the greatest players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I definitely think his time in Brooklyn hurt his legacy because he was coming back from the Achilles, and then he had a couple other injuries. And I feel like we didn't see a lot of vintage. I think he's been much better in Phoenix from what I've seen. So I think he is starting to build back. I don't want to say build back his legacy, but when you look at his numbers, I mean, and it'll stay this way because he's not playing tomorrow night. He's shooting 50% from 3-point land right now. 50%. I mean, that's incredible. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the Suns winning means that the Kings would not, so you don't want that. But, yeah, it is a curious case of Kevin Durant and his legacy as we switch over to another K, that's Keegan Murray. And, Whitey, you burst into the studio while you flew the door open and you had a lot to say.
Yes.
When we were talking about Keegan Murray, we were accused of being a bit negative, right? But my feeling on it, and I believe Chris's feeling too, is this is us evaluating Keegan Murray through the lens of how the Kings are evaluating Keegan Murray. And to use the F word as in fair, I don't know if it's fair or not. I just know this is what they're asking of him. I have no clue. He's 23 years old. I don't know if it's fair or not, but this is what they're expecting of him.
They're asking an awful lot of him at both ends, aren't they?
Oh, no question. And I think, he's starting to prove, that he can be a defensive, maybe an outstanding defender. I won't say stopper because that's clearly haven't seen that from anybody.
Right.
but I mean, and I think it's affected his offense a little bit, plus I think he's, feels like he's supposed to try to do more offensively, which I think at times he's taking some tough shots and shots probably should pass on. And
if I may, Jerry said something to me a couple weeks ago, and as a great point to what you just said, Jerry was saying, Keegan last year is very selective in his shots. And that's because, he took what were good shots for him. Now you got to shoot more. So you got to take shots that are, I wouldn't normally take that shot.
Right.
And then as a result, you're not shooting as well. It's like, what's wrong with him? And maybe because of what they're expecting, he's taking more shots that he really is not comfortable taking.
Yeah. Well, I always say, I mean, you should, I know the team wants more offense from him, and that's fine, but it's a fine line. In other words, what you don't want are players taking uncomfortable shots.
Yeah.
So you don't want to encourage guys to take shots that they're not comfortable with. And I do think we're seeing that with Keegan a little bit. Whereas last year, if his feet weren't set, had a good look at it, he just didn't take it.
Yeah. No, I think a big thing is kind of like you guys are saying. It feels like he's going through trying to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think, I mean, I haven't spent much time with Keegan Murray, but just from what we've gathered from him, doesn't really strike me as a guy who would really thrive in an uncomfortable environment. Like, that's a guy who's played with his brother his whole life, been in Iowa his whole life, really controlled environment. Now he's being thrown into this deep end with a team where it's essentially sink or swim. We need you to be guarding everybody's best defender while also being our best shooter. That's really tough. That's a really, really tough ask.
Yeah, and look, they don't get to the playoffs last season without Keegan Murray and how he performed. So if he does regress at all, it's going to be tough for the Kings to overcome it as presently constructed. But I'm sure the Drive guys will get into that and much more for the next couple of hours. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Drive guys up next with Jerry Reynolds in for Kyle Draper and, of course, Whitey Gleason. Until tomorrow, secure the bag like the bean.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day.